Yeah, yeah. Nick and Perry on the mic, straight killing. Talking wrestling, news, mad thrilling. From the ring to the headline spilling. Every match, every feud, bone chilling. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, stay tight. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light. SmackDown, Raw, they break it all down. From body slams to the champ's new crown. Tag teams, giants, they cover each town. Every heel, every face, every showdown. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, stay tight. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light. Ladder matches to steel cage thrill. From pay-per-views to the backyard mill. Nick and Perry got the inside skill. Wrestling a world at their will. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, stay tight. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light. To light.
Here we go. We're live.
All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast. I am Nick. I'm here as always with Perry.
Oh,
And we're here with two special guests. Once again, Milfman, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And Sean is back. How you doing, man?
I'm back. How you doing, everybody?
And we're here to talk. It's been a few weeks since the last show, but we're here to talk a few things. A lot has happened since we last did the show. There was a bunch of releases. One particular got signed back to the company.
it was a work, bro.
There's a further story I want to get into with that too, about TKO in general, about the money and that stuff that came out when all these releases were happening. So
Frank, what's up?
I want to get into that. What's going on, Frank?
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
Money in the
yes,
Frank.
Money in the bank. Then also we have to discuss Goldberg coming back for his retirement match.
Yeah.
We have to discuss the Night of Champions show and some of the drama surrounding that, which seems like it's gonna go as planned, but we'll just still talk about it.
This is why you should have kept WCW around. In case something happens, you got another company. Just saying.
And yeah, so and some other little things here. But the first thing I want to talk.
Injuries, evolution.
Yeah.
Wait, are we going to talk about the greatest company of all times, AEW?
I mean, I don't know.
We don't have the Professor Jesus on here.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
Professor Mike tonight? Call him Professor
Yeah.
Jesus.
Professor Jesus. But we're
I could go to Denny's and ask the waitress to see what she thinks about it.
Oh, he's gonna come on
but,
now.
But yeah, so we'll discuss a few other things too. But those are the main points I want to get into. And first, I want to get into the WWE releases that happened.
Well, I want to get into the WWF releases.
Okay, gotcha. So those released. There was a handful of stars released, and a lot of people were saying like, "Yo, why'd they get released?"
Eli, what's up?
The most notable one that got released was R-Truth, and he was a veteran there, had been there forever. He got cut. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, why is all this happening? And a lot of people don't know this, but TKO, the parent company of WWE that owns WWE and also the UFC, is in debt. And by debt, I mean they're in like $3 billion in debt.
You know what that means? They got to sell it back to Vince.
Well, no, they're not going to sell it back to Vince.
They have to. They have no choice.
They already bought WWE when they had a cured debt. They are prepared for WWE and UFC to run at a loss. but they're still trying to cut corners in a ton of different ways. And one of those ways was to cut talent that wasn't really being used. Now, why they were now apparently they were in renegotiations with Truth originally, and they gave him a very low ball offer. The rumor is that because Truth had been there for a long time, he was making over 7 figures a year.
Oh, he was Vince
Can you
McMahon's
remind me-
guy.
Wait, a jobber making $7 million?
Because he had been there
Can
for
you-
so long.
He was
And
really close with Vince McMahon, ironically enough.
Yeah, and and he was a well-liked person in the locker room. He was like there was reasons why you keep a guy like that around, and he was getting paid because the longer you're there, the more you're going to get paid. Apparently, they made him.
Can you wait? Can you remind us again who else was released? Because I can't remember who else was released.
I'm trying to see.
I know Cora Jade was one. Braun Strowman. Cora
Braun
Jade.
Strowman, yeah. Let me see here. if I
Eli,
can find-
Dakota
Frank,
Kai.
and El
What was
Nini
that
are in the
before?
chat. What's going on, guys?
Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Cora Jade, Braun Strowman.
Cora Jade. That name sounds like a Nickelodeon character. Come on. What is this?
She's starting to OnlyFans.
Was it
by the way.
Nickelodeon NXT? I mean, what's going on here? Remember that?
All these women released wrestlers are. I sort of heard. What is it? Nixon Newell is starting her own because she can't get bookings right now or something. Like she's having a tough time getting bookings.
I don't think Cora Jade was going to have a tough time getting bookings. I think she just capitalized on money that was there, and good for her. I mean, it's her body; she can do whatever the fuck she wants to do with it.
Hey, they're all following the Mandy Rose blueprint.
But
Cora Jade already is. I think she's already did like a House of Glory or one of those like
GCW,
like
GCW. She
or
showed
was
up.
it GCW?
Did
Yeah,
she
so, she's already doing,
staple her
it
head
was
with Moxley over there?
It was
But,
like Tegan Knox, Nixon Newell or whatever. Since she's
Gabe
been
Newell.
released, I saw that she had some issues getting bookings or whatever, and she even wrote, tweeted
then
about
you got the girl from Damage Control that got released. What's her name?
Shotzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's yeah. Well, Shotzi got the other girl that was in Damage Control.
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai.
Yeah, Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah. And also
Shotzi was released too,
Carlito
right?
was released. Yeah, Shotzi was released. Carlito was released. And so R-Truth was making it like a lot of money. They offered him a low ball offer on purpose, like an extremely low ball offer. And because they knew they didn't want him to resign. So he didn't sign it. He left. Apparently, I mean, again, now that R-Truth is back, I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, it's part of the show." Bro, it was not part of the show. If you anything that tells you this was he.
A lot of people are buying.
Bro,
it,
you
though.
do realize that Triple H tried to get The Rock fired, John Cena fired, anybody who wasn't fucking Triple H, CM Punk, by the way. All these guys that weren't Triple H, he tried to get fired, and guess what? They're all multi-time world champions.
Now, the Triple H apparently and other WWE personnel tried calling R-Truth.
He
didn't
wouldn't answer. Yep.
Until Nick Khan called him directly, and he answered the phone, and Nick Khan got the deal done to bring him back. So
From what I heard, it's like a very like sort of like nostalgia tour short run for him. Like I don't think he signed some long lucrative contract or anything. I'm pretty sure it's like we brought him back. He's gonna have his little story, and he's probably gonna be gone before you know it.
it might be some sort of thing where he's like I again, it's just rumors. No one knows what the actual contract is. That he got paid. The rumor is he got paid lucratively, like you said, maybe for a short potential run.
They met him in the middle.
But then also like after the run, he would be like locked in with like a Legends deal. After that,
That's really what he should be, because he's like a comedic like character wrestler that they bring in legitimately for the last, I don't know, since he's been on WWE television for the last 10 years, he's been a character that's like you bring out to have laughs. Like he's a funny character. And now he's playing a serious character, which is only going to last for a very short time because people will be done with that real quick. There was this big outcry for R-Truth because he got fired or whatever. That was because people like his character and what he is and what he stands for. But as soon as he goes into this angry character and he does it for long enough, people won't give a shit anymore, and he'll be gone.
So you think after the John Cena thing is over, people will be done with him?
Most
Well, here's
likely.
Well, here's the thing about, because R-Truth ended up getting re-signed. He returned, made a surprise return during Night of Champions after John
As
Cena's
Ron
match.
Killings.
Yeah,
As Ron Killings.
as Ron Killings. Came out the next night on Raw, shaved his hair, or cut his hair, and said that he was Ron Killings, and he's like a more serious character.
He went back to R-Truth. Now he's R-Truth again, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they.
It was
let
Triple
him-
H's
I heard-
idea. Then we got to capitalize
So
on
I
his name. So there you
But
go.
also,
I heard that. What I
They
heard
did that
was
with
is
Bryan
he
Danielson.
said-
Remember, they fired him and brought him back. And he's like, I think it's
What I
time
heard
people
was
know
this-
Bryan Danielson, and he never changed the name officially.
What I heard was that he said when he renegotiated his deal or whatever, that he wanted to use his name on WWE television at least once, so that when he could go, like after he was done, he could book shows and say he was Ron Killings who appeared on WWE television, instead of having to say R-Truth and use their thing and have to pay them for R-Truth or whatever the hell it is. Like, so I think like that was the sort of, maybe that's the reason why it was just like a one-off sort of situation, and now he's back to R-Truth or whatever. But
Yeah.
like I said, I don't see it
And
being like, was he like 55 years old or something like that?
he's
I think
old,
so,
man.
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, for his age, he looks great. He's in great shape. He could still wrestle. He's particularly healthy in terms of like his body. And I've always liked R-Truth or Kit Ron or whatever you want to call him. I think he's
Yeah.
always been like, he has
K
a
Quick,
reputation.
baby.
He just has a reputation of being a good guy. I mean, he's been, when he originally was released, there was talks that, he maybe like wanted to just kind of just chill out and whatever, but then more stuff came out about the contract negotiations, and he wanted to stay and keep doing what he was doing. Then he got a low ball offer. But I mean, everybody really likes like Ron. He's a really good guy, and he just, he was a well-liked person in the locker room. And that's why there was a lot more people vocal about him in particular, was because a lot of people just didn't see it coming. But he was making good money before. We'll see what they do now. Honestly, to me, and we'll get to the Cena and Punk stuff in a little bit.
RWK, what's up?
Because I've been loving what Cena and Punk have been doing on TV. But it more so seems like, and I said this before, I think Cena and Punk should be a SummerSlam match. And it almost looked like originally they were trying to make like,
Well, depending on what happens in the next few hours, it might be a SummerSlam match.
It almost looked like they were setting up R-Truth for the Night of Champions match, because him interfering in the Money in the Bank, and and it almost looked like, oh, they're bringing him back and giving him R-Truth Cena at Night of Champions, and then do Cena Punk at SummerSlam. That just has SummerSlam main event written on it to me. Like, in my opinion, am I wrong on that, Perry?
Maybe there's no winner. Maybe that goes into SummerSlam.
They must have.
Maybe.
They must have other plans for Cena at SummerSlam. They must have. It's got to be something else they have.
Who's he gonna
That's
fight?
like-
Seth?
Which I don't see what.
But that's like the I mean technically Survivor Series, but like that's the I think SummerSlam's like the last like big pay-per-view that's gonna have Cena on it. Like the last.
He's got to be
big
fighting the
one.
Undertaker then.
And it's like, what the
It's
hell?
not Cody.
Cody's gonna be the last
It's
match.
not just Cody Rhodes. As I feel like that Cody.
It's
See, I
either
don't
Cody
see
or
it.
Rock. Cody or Rock is the last
See,
match.
I don't. You see, I don't see it being Cody only because they don't want Cody to get booed. Cody will essentially be the unofficial heel.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
got to be a heel then. It's got to be Rock, because he'll get booed.
because Punk won't get booed. Punk is the one guy that will not get booed.
He'll
in
get
Cena's
booed.
round. He won't.
In Boston,
Punk
he'll
is
get
too over
booed.
that.
He won't get
Punk is
booed,
too
but
over.
there'll just be too many people
It'll
that'll
be dual
like,
chance.
Yeah, it'll be
It'll be
dual
like
chance.
dual chance.
Yeah,
But
I
he
don't- I
won't get
think
booed.
that-
He's the one guy that won't. That's a babyface.
He really should end
What
his
I
career.
do
I mean, they
think
had
is
great
I-
stuff together.
Yeah,
I
no,
would say
and
that like that there's the crowd reaction is mostly let's go Cena sucks, and barely any CM Punk. Like if that happens, it's going to be mostly people just cheering let's go Cena sucks. I think CM Punk you're right though. I do think that he has the best shot of being like the guy who wins without like people being like super freaking upset over it. You know what I mean? Like and booing like the guy who wins sort of thing. Because I don't see them booing him from winning.
Yeah, but I will, and we can transition this into the stuff with Cena and Punk, which I think has been Cena's best heel stuff so far has been with Punk, and you can kind of tell how much Cena is enjoying working with Punk. He's almost like Cena's horrible at not breaking character, and you can see
Yeah,
him.
but
start
they
to
were
smile
friends before
sometimes.
Punk left.
Oh yeah. And but here's the thing, and you said it, and I've always said this on this show. You can go back to old episode, whatever. Like I've always said it that like they always tried to make on TV. They always tried to make like Cena and Orton like the equivalent of like Austin Rock, and I always thought that the Austin Rock equivalent from that era was Cena and Punk. I think that whenever they
It's
got
more like
together,
a Hogan Macho Man type deal.
yeah, and more so of like whenever they got together, they always brought the best out of each other,
Right.
whether it be on the mic, in the ring. I think Cena's best match. I mean, still that match on Raw that he had with
With the Pound
Punk in
Driver.
2013 is one of the best TV matches.
They got fined for that shit too.
Yeah, and the storytelling, the fact they did that for the storytelling aspect, like he had to literally pull out everything to try to win back. He was so desperate to get the shot at Rock again to get the title back. Like that was perfect storytelling. I always loved their dynamic together. Even the fucking, I know it was kind of like parody, quote unquote, but like the fucking pipe bomb that he did or whatever the other night with Cena. I thought it was hilarious. Cena was like selling for like Punk was selling for like 7 minutes.
Did you catch the
But-
AEW reference?
Yes, I think
Oh,
with the names. Are you talking about
Yep.
the names?
Nick
Yes.
Nemeth,
Oh,
Yes,
Matt
Yep.
Cardona,
Nona. Yep.
and then Claudio Castagnoli, which is CC Cole Cabana.
Yes.
Nobody knew what he
And-
was talking about first. Then it hit the internet. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, why did
Wow.
he pick those specific names? Yeah,
Yep.
and it was for Nick, Matt, and Colt, which is I think that was no, I was wondering that too. I'm like, I get the reference obviously,
Right.
but I was like, why would he pick those names? And then I saw like an article about it online, and I'm like, holy shit! I was
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck?
And it was some
That's
4D
crazy.
chess right there.
But that
I
was
saw that too, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how legitimate that like veiled like, oh, this means this and this means that. Like that seems like quite a freaking reach.
It's
I
not a
mean,
reach.
there's plenty of CM Punk.
Now why the
interviews where
fuck would he mention Matt Cardona? Triple H doesn't want him in the company. Triple H fucking hates that guy. He said, "We're taking fucking white, but we ain't taking you, fucking fuckface. All right, go home and sit your fat ass down."
Harry,
That's
can-
what he
can
said to
Can
him.
I just finish what I was saying before
Nick
you get
Nemeth,
angry about what I'm saying?
He's fucking damaged
all I'm
goods.
saying
He's in
is-
TNA shaking his ass right now. Nobody gives a fuck.
Forget it. I won't.
And
say it.
Claudio's in AEW fucking shaking his ass for Tony Khan, hugging him all fucking day for ice cream.
All I'm saying is
Why
that
would he mention these
I
names?
watched- All right, dude. Fuck it. I'm not fucking talking. You fucking.
Why would he
interrupt
mention
me
the
when I'm
names?
trying to say something. All right, dude.
Why would he mention the names? Why would he mention Claudio? Is he going to go to AEW and wrestle over there?
I have nothing to say because you're fucking interrupting me every time I try to talk.
Because
Yeah,
they
you
did
can-
it on purpose. Those were the
Well,
three
you-
guys that got him fired.
I mean, you can let him talk though, Perry, a little bit. Like you were kind of yelling over his point.
He
But-
can say whatever he wants.
All I was saying is that there is an interview with CM Punk where he mentions all three of them in the interview while talking about WrestleMania. And I saw that too. That was just as much as a reach as someone taking people's names and going, "Oh, CC Claudio Castro, that means Colt Cabana."
Well, what
Like,
happens when he does an interview and says, "Yeah, I was referencing AEW"? Then what are you going to say? Oh, well, we all knew that.
we knew he was referencing AEW just by mentioning the fucking names that he mentioned. I'm not talking about I'm not saying that he's not mentioning AEW. I'm just saying that it's a reach to be like he's secretly mentioning these people through these people's names. Like I just don't think that was the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, yeah, then you're allowed to have that opinion. I mean, I don't. I'm just going by.
Yeah, he's like these Xbox guys because when he gets proven wrong in 2 years, he's gonna be like, "Oh well, we already knew that."
That's bullshit, Perry. You're such a fucking you know that's bullshit. I own up to everything that I ever fucking say about anything.
So when
You're the
John
one
Cena
that says-
admits this, you'll come out on this show and say, "You know what? He just admitted it."
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
All right.
Why? What the fuck would it matter if I did or not? You make things out to be like it's some fucking big deal. It's not. Okay, like you do what you're saying. You're the one that says, "Oh, this is going to happen." It doesn't happen, and then when someone tells you it's not going to happen, you don't fucking admit it. So don't turn it around on me like I'm some fucking person that doesn't admit when I'm wrong. I totally do. So if John Cena says, "Oh, when I said see Claudio Castagnoli, I was obviously talking about Colt Cabana," I'll be like, "Way to go, Perry. You were right, or whoever on the internet was right, and you agreed with them." But I saw the same exact thing that you saw, and it just seemed kind of a stretch. Why not just say their names? Why do you have to go out of your way?
Because you're not going to put over the competition's main guys.
Like put
You're
him
not.
over.
That's this company. This company's done this for years. They never mentioned
all
Hulk
right.
Hogan. They never mentioned any of these guys. They made fun of them, but they never really mentioned their names.
Okay, I'll agree to that. They try not to mention people's names because they don't want the.
They don't want people watching their shit. That's why.
Yeah, but I don't know. It feels like a stretch. That's all I'm saying. If it's not, then great job or whatever. But like, I don't know. I liked the promo. I thought it was really good. I didn't need the like hidden meaning and the like, oh, this means this for me to think it was good. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It felt like, when something like that happens, people like are like, this is amazing, and then they like over dissect it. That kind of came across to me, but like, I might be completely in the wrong. It might have been a really, really veiled reference, but like,
Yeah.
at this point, you really don't know when wrestlers are doing these things and they say these things. There's so much you can read into stuff that like you don't know if it's a veiled reference or if it's not. So like until I hear him be like, yeah, when I said Claudio Castagnoli, I meant Colt Cabana. I just don't know. It doesn't jive.
The thing is, I like the promo as well. I think the Cena promos with Punk have been his best heel promos so far.
Agreed.
Because I think what he's doing is he's, the way they're, they're kind of bringing in the fact that Punk is a hypocrite for going to Night of Champions to do like I like that Cena's bringing that up. If you're gonna do it, like I have my own opinions on that happening, but if you're gonna do it, make it part of the story, but make it front facing. They're kind of like they're not saying why he's a hypocrite. Maybe they were told not to say why he was a hypocrite by other people that got money. but
like the Cena versus the fans thing can only it can only go on and be the main thing for so long without it being stale. He has to like focus on his opponents, and I feel like a lot of the times his opponents have sort of been like, I don't know, they're just like not even like featured, like they're like an obstacle, sort of like a hurdle to get over to move to the next one. Like I don't know. I've never once been like, this person's obviously going to be John Cena, or that like I'm like, oh, he's really like maybe the Randy Orton one, but besides that, like it's very like this feels like the first time he's more focused on his opponent.
yeah,
Like he's like hyper focused on what they're doing wrong, and
the promos aren't about the fans; it's about
yeah,
the person he's facing. Yeah.
yeah. CM Punk is bringing the best out of him. I agree to that.
Yeah, Milfman, what do you think about the Cena Punk program so far?
It hasn't been bad. I'm just curious how they're going to end it. That's the thing I'm most curious because it's like I like the fact that they're making it personal. They're making it a little bit more realistic, way better than the other goddamn feuds Cena's had. But this has probably been the best build Cena's had so far as the feud goes. The feuds he's had. Because Lord knows the Cody one was terrible. Orton, I personally didn't really like it. This has been the best one by far. I'm just more curious on how they're going to end it. Does this have a true ending where where Punk gets pinned. Because Cena obviously is not losing.
Jinder
they
Mahal
go with
and
your
the Great
cluster?
Khali are gonna run out and beat up CM Punk.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean,
do they go? I'm curious. Do you pin Punk in this match, or do you go with a clusterfuck ending
I think it might be.
where nobody gets pinned?
I think it
Some
might
sort
be.
of clusterfuck thing.
Yeah, because like Perry said, I think they still might do this at SummerSlam. Like there might be a clusterfuck and then there's a rematch at. So again, I don't know what's the PLE
Because
in
you could.
between. What's the PLE in between this and what's in July?
Isn't it? What the hell is it? It's like Great
Uh,
American Bash or something.
it is Great American Bad. Well, no, that's NXT though. There's Saturday night's main event. Then they got so much shit coming up. Evolution. Oh, there's none. It just
Oh, so it's SummerSlam.
yeah, it's Evolution, Saturday night's main event, uh, Great American Bash, and then it's SummerSlam. So
You
the
could.
next big PLE is SummerSlam, August 2nd.
Was
So
King
what
of
if
the
they're
Ring?
using this to build? This is basically
When
like King of the Ring, isn't it?
what was I when with the winners of King of the Ring, they get like title shots, right? That's how it
Yeah,
works now.
yeah, yeah. It's supposed
Oh,
to be at
okay.
SummerSlam, right?
So like Cody's probably like that's how I see the the path forward for who gets to face for the title is like you win King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. Like I imagine, like I don't know, it's weird because like you have Asuka
You
versus
see,
Jade, and then it's Cody. Cody won tonight against Jay,
Randy. It's Randy and
so
Cody.
Cody versus Randy. So it's like one of you're getting like two of those four people are getting title shots. Like, who do you think is the legitimate person that's going to get the title shot? I don't think Randy's going to get it because I don't think he's going to, like, they're not going to do that again.
We'll
They're
see
not going to have him.
the key thing, and again, I don't know how they, because I mean, the
It
titles
could
are
be
on
any
both.
title.
Well, no, it says the
Could be
winner
any
is
title.
it says the winner is crowned king of the ring and receives a match for the respective brands world championship at SummerSlam.
Okay, so Cody would be facing, so either Cody or Orton would be facing Cena.
Yeah.
And then you have was Roxanne and no, it's Asuka and Jade, and they're on Raw, so they would be facing Io.
Yeah. So
oh yeah,
So,
sorry.
yeah. So
so maybe Asuka wins. You get Asuka and Io, and then you get Cody versus Cena, or do you think it's Jade? Jade, they put it all on Jade. Like I don't know. I don't think Jade is ready
I
to be
so
champ.
so do you think because it's like all right, obviously with Punk losing, do you think they're moving him? They got to have some type of big plans for him. So do you think they're redoing the triple threat match at SummerSlam that they did at WrestleMania, but this time for the title? Because Seth cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Because they got to be doing something with Punk that's major to
Probably.
sell one of the nights.
I would imagine that like he's involved in some of that, in something like that, because I mean, like you said, you can't not have him on the card in something important. I mean, at this point, he's
we
one of the major people.
well we got to remember too, is that SummerSlam is 2 nights. So
Oh yeah,
But
yep.
you know,
You
Roman has to main event. Roman has to main because you know they're not going to let Roman not main event one of these nights.
I don't know. Like I keep wondering about Roman. Like, what is he just gonna come back? Like that is that what you're? That was what you're talking about before. Is that like it's inevitable
Yeah,
that he's just gonna come back and ruin Seth Rollins' thing?
yeah. Because
But I
who
mean,
else is he going to feud it? Because he's clearly involved with. They got to resolve the Heyman thing at some point with him getting revenge.
yeah.
So when he comes back, he's automatically involved with Seth.
and I mean, and then he's like the baby face. But like, does that mean he goes to Raw? Does that mean you have to? That probably means you have to stack like SmackDown even more with more people, which I think is a problem because they're taking away an hour from SmackDown again, so it's going to go back to being 2 hours again. So it'll be even more like kind of a crunch on like what you're going to do with the wrestlers or whatever, where you're putting whoever. I don't know. It's like
Wait,
it
when is
just
it going
seems.
back though?
I
When is it going
read
back?
something. I read something about it going back next month or something like that. I might be wrong. I
Okay.
read something on the internet about it. I really don't think that they should. But what are you gonna do? I mean, at least do it like they do with Raw, where it's like in 2.5 hours or whatever the hell they do it. Like,
Yeah.
there's some what I read was is that they have like USA finally has some sort of show for that like 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, the USA is finally like, you know, because the big thing that everybody, me and Perry have talked about it before and everything else, is that USA was the one that wanted Raw 3 hours. That whole all those time where where Raw was 3 hours on USA, USA was the one. Vince didn't even like 3 hour shows. It was USA and the advertising dollars, and because they could sell a lot of ads on WWE programming, especially when it went PG, they could sell more family friendly ads that were, like that garnered more revenue. Um,
Yeah.
so it was like a win-win for everybody.
I just want to say, if I'm wrong all the time, when did Elias and shit stank Nakamura ever win the WWE title? I was told that.
what is that?
I was
What is
told that. Those
really?
guys are going to win the WWE title. And I told you Vince doesn't like those guys. And you say, oh, no, they're getting on TV.
It's literally
Where
just
are they? Where are they
speculation.
champions?
Perry,
Where?
that's not like a fact or fiction thing. That's an opinion that you were right
It's a
about
fact.
because they didn't.
They didn't win.
Okay, all right,
I
fine,
waited
Perry.
8 years for that.
That's great. Like, they didn't win the title. They should have. Nakamura should have. They blew it with Nakamura, obviously.
Vince
And
doesn't like him
plenty-
because he doesn't speak English. That's why. I told you that. And you laughed. You're like, no, he's a good wrestler. I said, it doesn't matter. Look what happened.
Okay, so you're taking one thing that I said about
Two
one
things.
wrestler winning.
You said
I
both
said
guys. You said
that
Nakamura was going to beat AJ. And then you said the
I
other
said
guy was going to win.
Elias- I said Elias should be the champion. I didn't say he was going to be the champion. I said he should be the champion. I know full well that I wouldn't have told you that he was going to be the champion because he didn't even win the mid-card title. Like, I think you should back up your accusations a little bit.
Milkman, what do you think? Should Elias have won the title?
Elias? Hell no.
Why?
He should
He's a
have won
good
the
worker.
Intercontinental title.
He had tons of TV time.
He should have won the Intercontinental title.
Maybe that, but that title's worthless anyway. So at this point, you could give him that. That title's worthless.
No, I should
You
have
could
won
give
it
him
when.
that.
And Money in the Bank, he should have won it instead of Seth Rollins when it was the.
Harold,
there
what's
was,
up, brother?
No point of Seth Rollins winning the title at that point, but they had it in their hands to give it to somebody who is legitimately over, and they didn't. But you can tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm right about that. Never said he was going to be the world champion. I did say Nakamura was. I did say he should be, but they dropped the ball with that. So you were right about that, Perry. But don't act like you're like there's so many things that you can talk about. You talk about one thing I said.
But as we're talking about the Night of Champions stuff, we can go over just the stuff that's going on with Night of Champions.
We have 29 votes with 89%. The poll was Cena talking about AEW? 89% said yes. 11% said no.
How many votes on that?
29.
Wow, 29 people. The masses agree.
It says 9 here.
You must
I
not see the
agree.
two. Are you using the phone app?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that's why.
Sorry for
Right.
ever disagreeing with you, Perry. I'll never do it again. There's no one's allowed to disagree with you, especially me. So sorry, Perry.
Let's start a new poll. Was Elias over?
That's so
Elias was over. He was over.
There's
I
no
ain't gonna lie, I
doubt.
like
If
this-
you don't, if you think that he wasn't, then you're fucking crazy.
Elias
he was over.
There's
Elias was over.
there's no
Especially
doubt
that night. Especially that night in Seattle where he dissed the basketball team where he was sitting with Kevin Owens. That was one of the greatest reactions ever.
The downfall of Elias, and I've said this before, is COVID. The no crowd shows like fucked him so bad because
Oh, yeah,
everything
he needed the crowd.
everything he had was for crowd crowd reaction and
Participation. Yeah, crowd
participation. So
participation,
like,
yeah.
without it, it was just like, oh, now and then they fucking stuck him with terrible, like, oh, we're gonna shave you and change your name, and you're like, some of that shit was funny just on the fact that Kevin Owens like carried that because of his anger and how ridiculous it was. But like that, they just fucked him, and COVID was the worst thing for him. He was
Yeah.
over as hell. He should have been mid-card champion. He should have been on his way. He had the look. He could talk. He could do everything. And the
Vince
fact
just
that
changed his
like,
mind. That was the problem.
yeah, but I mean, like I went into thinking like I always liked him. He was my current, like at the time, was my current favorite wrestler. I always went in thinking he's probably a mid-card guy. He's probably never going to be the main guy, and I'm fine with that. I've like most of the wrestlers I pick are not the guys that are going to be. They're not fucking Goldberg. They're not going to win every single match and be the champion forever. Like I don't care about that usually, and the idea that like that matters so much is, I don't know. I think that's funny. It just, what matters is being on television. Some people disagree, but that's what matters.
Yeah. So, but the Night of Champions stuff. So Night of Champions is set to take place this Saturday. And it's supposed to be another PLE at in Saudi Arabia. And because of the unrest that's going on in the how to say it, in the Middle East, there is a lot of uncertainty if the show will still go on as planned. Now, there has been developments since all of this was happening. You know,
What's up?
there has been developments since all this was happening. You know, since you know, stuff in the media, there's been developments that could lead to it going as planned, but there was reports coming out from multiple sources that there was early WWE staff that went over there to like help things set up, that they were stranded at the airport because they had grounded flights and shut down the airport because of reports coming out of stuff that was going on over there.
It's supposed to be SmackDown over there too. It's supposed to be over there.
SmackDown, yeah, SmackDown's going over there. All of the
I read
wrestlers,
though that there's a ceasefire, like a current ceasefire, like
yes,
after that. Then.
yes, that is the most recent development.
Save the match.
Again, we'll have to wait and see if everything plans out as planned. Because sometimes those
You
things.
know who's not on the card? Elias!
What the fuck?
He actually tore his ACL or something.
Because he
like that.
sucks. He tore his ACL, his pec. He tore his ass cheeks. He's got everything.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so and there's already a lot of drama around them going over there anyway. I've been very vocal about that. Another person that was very vocal about that was CM Punk. But they probably backed the Brinks truck up for him. To say as a huge Punk fan that I'm not disappointed, I am hugely disappointed. Just me personally, I'm not saying how anybody else should feel. But knowing Punk's morals and everything like that, and what he stands for a lot of people, I was kind of bummed when I heard that he was going over.
I think AEW just fucking. I think once that happened, he was like, "Fuck this, man! I'm just gonna take the money and get out."
Well, that's
And that's
like
what he's
AEW
doing.
Fans have been ripping him.
That's
Well, here's
AEW fans can go blow a fucking fart out of their
here's the
ass
thing.
because nobody cares
Here-
about
here-
AEW.
But here's the thing. I think any fan that rips him for this, it deservedly can rip him for it.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing.
That's how I feel about it. Again, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It doesn't mean whatever.
Right,
Like,
but I think AEW just tore it out of him, and he's like, you know what, man? Fuck this shit. I'm just gonna take the money wherever I can get it and get the fuck out.
You want to know what I think
I don't
about
blame
CM
him.
Punk right now?
what?
I think I never had any like I never cared about his convictions in the first place, so I don't give a fuck if he goes or not. I'm glad he does. If he wants to do it, good for him. If he doesn't, I don't care. Like, to me, it's like I never thought he was this like pillar of morality. He pretends to be. Like, people want money. They're gonna take money that's given to them, and
Look,
they're gonna pretend like you can pretend that you're this like idealistic person, and I'm sure he has morals and values, and he sticks to them to a point. But like everyone's gonna take money when it's that much and it's offered to you, and I'm not gonna
Yeah,
fault them for it. Like
Never more to be
people that
held
fault them
down
for it, I think that's
by the wits
ridiculous.
against me.
I don't fault him for it, but
Like,
I don't fault him for it. But what I will say is that again, all these guys are going over there. They all have their own reasons for going over there. I'm fine with anybody that goes over there. There's other like that area has been doing a lot of other things with sports. They're doing a lot of stuff with esports. There's like esport athletes that are going over there. They have this big esports.
Oh, I didn't even
World
know about
Cup.
the esports stuff.
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
paid
yeah,
a
I
lot
heard
of money
about
to go over
that.
there. Yeah, it's a big. They're
I had
diving
no
in.
idea about that
They're
one.
diving
yeah.
into a lot of different things. There's UFC that goes on there. They have a big thing. That's another
Boxing,
TKO.
the biggest
Yeah,
boxing
You
is
just
being
said
done by
TKO was going
Saudis this
bankrupt,
year.
right? So of course they're taking all the money.
yeah. So the thing like I get it. It's just that with
Why is it still on the
Punk,
screen?
Punk, he made it like a mission to be like, I'm not going over there. The famous tweet that he has. I won't repeat the tweet, but everyone knows the famous tweet he sent
To the
to
Miz.
Miz.
Yeah.
And
it's-
just
it's-
and again, I'm not saying that like, but there's going to be people that call him out for that because
I don't
every
think he
single
gives
time-
a shit anymore, bro.
and
Because
every-
after
well,
what
that's-
happened with
well,
AEW, I think he's just
Well, that's the
done.
thing. Well, this is
He's
the thing
like,
too, is that
fuck all
since
these fucking
since
people.
He's been back. Since he's been back, he hasn't gone. They've been multiple times since he's been back, and he always gets written off of TV, and then he comes back once they're back from.
Right.
From
And they
Saudi
probably
Arabia.
offered him a shit ton of money, and that was
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
eventually they put an
You
extra
see, he
zero.
held out.
They put an extra zero on
Yeah.
something, and that's why he's finally going over. And again, he wants to go over. That's fine. It's just
I don't blame him.
what me personally was I a little bummed as a huge like supporter of Punk and like everything that he like the communities he stands up for and everything like that. I was a little bit bummed, but he could do whatever the fuck he wants to do. But that was just my personal feeling, and I can only see
when-
about how I was personally feeling.
When he did
me,
that
when-
original blood money tweet or whatever, I don't know. To me, I just rolled my eyes and I was like, sure, okay, that makes sense. It tracks with your narrative, but like I don't really like I don't know, I don't put much value behind these people that say all this shit on the internet and they're like, oh, I'm this. And in the end, like you said, you felt like he was something and now he's gonna do this, and it's like, how are you supposed to feel about it? If you didn't have any sort of like personal attachment to his morality, then you wouldn't give a fuck. And like I think that's like I don't know, that's just like I don't really care about people's like
Well, that's
values
the
when they're
thing.
tweeting.
That's the thing for me, and again, I can only speak for me, but that's what for Punk. It wasn't just internet stuff though. He's donated to different causes. He's raised money. He's actually
And
done
that's
the
good.
groundwork. Like, and that's great. I'm not taking that away from. I'm not saying that doesn't mean anything now because he's going over there. What I'm saying is, for him, it wasn't just talk on the internet. There's tons of people that virtue single and talk on the internet just to make themselves look a certain way. He's actually put money and sweat equity into actually like raising
Like,
awareness, which is
it always felt to me though that like his like when he'd go heavy on something like that, it felt like that thing felt more like it was completely against WWE than it was like, oh, like sure, he doesn't agree with the Saudi blood money and everything like that, but like it was about WWE and how he felt about WWE at the time. And now that
Yeah.
he's with WWE, it's a different story. And
Well,
I
yeah.
don't blame him for having a different like, outcome with it, because like you said, I mean, he's done all this other good stuff. Like you can't, like you said, you can't take away the good stuff he did.
Oh, yeah,
because
no,
he
and
took the money,
again, I like I said, I just had to honestly say about how I felt about it because I've been on here before saying like, oh, I don't think Punk will ever do it, this and that. So I just feel like I had to like personally say how I personally felt. Again, not taking anything away from Punk. He's still one of my all-time favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, I get
and,
you. I understand that. That makes sense.
and like he like in terms of like, I just know that he affects a lot of people in a different way just because of like all the work he has done outside of the ring with different things, and it just it's yeah. But I mean, him going over there, hey man,
Maybe
your
he's
money, and
turning heel, and this is the way to get him
and if
over
it's
as a
and
heel.
if it's a great match, then but I also like how they're kind of not saying it, but they're also bringing it up though in the story that he has to be a hypocrite to come and get this title. Like I like that Cena brought that up, and I think that that's good because you can't. If they didn't mention it at all in any way, it would just be like kind of like that elephant in the room kind of thing. But they're kind of saying it without saying it, you know. So
Exactly. I think
yeah,
that's actually the best way to do it, like
yeah,
dancing around it, but like sort of like it's heavily implied. I mean, he's calling him hypocrite, and he's like, I
yeah.
mean, like people know the deal. It's not like it's some like big secret or anything like that. So I think they're using the like it subtly in the correct way, like to get that like sort of over.
And I will say that this card for Night of Champions looks pretty fucking good. Um and with the you said Rennie and Cody, Oscar and Jade, Cena Punk, Fatu and Solo, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Cross. It looks like a really good card. So, hopefully it's a really good show and hopefully the matches deliver. I didn't see the match, but I'm hearing that they said the Cody and Jay match on Raw was like better than their WrestleMania match. I haven't seen it, but apparently
It was
it
pretty
was
good.
yeah,
It
apparently
was
it was
pretty good for
pretty
them.
good. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the show. I mean, and hopefully everything goes as planned, and hopefully there's definitely going to be extra level security. You know, they got to put certain guardrails in place. But like you said, Perry, with TKO taking all the money that they can because of, all the debt they're in. I mean, they're also, like I said, and Milfman brought it up, also in Saudi Arabia, they're promoting a boxing match with two of the biggest boxers in the world. That's also going to be streamed on Netflix. Um, and there's a lot of talk that UFC, once their deal's up at the end of this year with ESPN, they could also be going to Netflix and dropping the pay-per-view model that they have because a lot of people don't know that UFC is still pay-per-view. And that's one of the reasons why UFC is bleeding money right now. Because
Such a shit model.
UFC
Yeah.
has no fucking also
Yeah.
now UFC has no
Wow.
Plus,
fucking
they're charging a boatload of money for pay-per-views. It's like $70, I think it is, isn't it?
yeah, they just
Yeah.
increased their price. Yeah, they just increased to
Stupid
70
button.
like a year or
They
two
got
ago.
tariffs on those pay-per-views.
But
Holy
they
shit.
but also like they're struggling because they don't have the stars right now. Like right now, the UFC is bleeding for stars, and another
Yeah.
one of their big
They
stars,
just fired the
John
world
Jones
champion.
just
What was that all
retired.
about?
John Jones just
There's
retired.
no,
Yeah,
There's
he
no
retired my
GSP.
ass. They probably wouldn't give him the money he wanted.
That like
Apparently,
MMA is so freaking hard to make legitimate stars because any asshole can beat somebody, and like any guy that's trained well can like pull something out on somebody and beat them, and then you lose. Like a perfect example is that guy O'Malley. He was
yeah,
like
Sean
they were
O'Malley,
yeah,
yeah,
hyped. They
Sean
hyped
O'Malley,
him,
yeah.
Sugar Sean, yeah.
hyped him so much, so much.
Steam Pipe
And
Alley with
then
Mike
you go-
O'Malley.
Yep, exactly.
But
He-
but
like once
The
they
problem
lose,
is, though, UFC
once you
price people
lose,
out, though.
I was like, once you lose though, and you go like you lose once, it's fine. You can get that rematch. But once you lose that rematch, it's hard to come back. These
what
people don't
yeah.
last. They're like you gotta like sort of stay on top for you to actually make like a name for yourself or just be around forever. And
Well,
like
that was the thing. Over the
shit is
years,
hard.
UFC has always, and I'll just go off on a little UFC tangent. I promise it won't be long. UFC's always like when the old stars leave, they're always like maybe like a year or two of no stars, and then they have like the new ones. The problem is now is that um Amanda Nunez, which was their biggest women's fighter. She was a dual champion in multiple divisions. She beat everybody. She was like, I just beat everybody. I'm retiring. And she was a big draw for them. Done. John Jones, who, and you said they didn't give him the money he wanted, Perry. Apparently, again, this is from like MMA sources and everything talking about it. They got him because also we talked about the fight he was going to do. John Jones was going to be against this new guy, Tom Aspinall, who's been in the UFC for the last 5 years. He won the
He-
interim.
a lot
Why,
of
can I
people
ask you why these MMA guys have like the weirdest names?
He's from the UK, so he has just I guess like a
Yeah,
British
right now
name.
none
This
of their
goes on for 30
none of their
years.
champions. No, because none of their champions right now are actually American right now. None of their champions.
Yeah. So,
Not
but
one.
he was supposed to fight John. Like he was supposed to fight John Jones. John Jones was the heavyweight champion. He was the interim champion because John Jones was out with an injury. He won the interim title. They were supposed to fight to be the undisputed UFC.
Wasn't he the
heavyweight
guy that they knocked cocaine out of his nose?
Yeah, he's the coke guy.
John
Yeah.
Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
John
John,
Jones.
John Jones is what maybe people consider the GOAT. I don't consider him the GOAT, but he's up there. But he's been ducking
Probably
this
testifying
fight
for fucking
forever.
Diddy, for all we know.
They've been ducking this fight
No,
forever.
Ngannou.
They've
He
been
also
ducking.
ducked Ngannou.
Yes. He's been ducking both of those forever, but mainly this fight. They've been trying to get this fight made for the last 10 months. Okay? It got to the point where he was talking about money, not enough money. Fucking the Saudi government chipped in money to get this fight made. They got his amount up to 30 million.
That's not
He
enough
was gonna get
coke.
He was going to get 30 million for the fight and was saying that he was my fucking camera's moving.
So like that's it right there, right? Like what you just said right there. You were like, the Saudi government added money to get him to get 30 million.
Oh, I
for
didn't
his
even know
match.
about the Saudi.
Yes, that
This
was
is
confirmed today. That was confirmed
this is
today.
a main event MMA UFC match.
Yes.
And so you think so by that estimation, CM Punk is worth like 3 of him.
Probably.
Like-
and here's
like-
the thing.
like
Here's
a
the thing too.
CM Punk appearance is worth triple the amount of what he's worth.
I mean, it might be because he's more like, at least like he's more like front facing than John Jones. Like fights because again, it's John Jones' biggest enemy is John Jones. He's always not fighting because he gets in legal trouble. There was another legal thing that came out after he retired that night. that he came out that he like left the scene of an accident, which is not the first time
So
he's done
basically,
that.
he's the Uso of he's the Uso of the UFC.
Uso.
Always getting in trouble.
Beyond the Uso, that man, the fact that man's not in jail for some of the stuff he's gotten away with is crazy. He's gotten
So Jeff Hardy's a better one actually. He's basically the Jeff Hardy of the UFC.
yeah, bro.
When
I
it
remember
comes down to it though, like MMA like the recognizability of an MMA star like is not huge. So I understand kind of what you're saying. Like there's only a few of them that are like really
yeah, and
promotional like people, like-
Jones was one of them. I mean, Jones was a huge star for a long time, and he is worth the money they were trying to give him. But the problem
Well,
is that
would you say okay, just an example, would you say who's more famous? John Jones or Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor.
Okay. John Jones or Ronda Rousey?
Ronda Rousey.
Jones. I
would say Ronda Rousey just because like of the women, like she was like the first. Like a lot of people like think of women's MMA.
Well, it
think
really
of
was
her.
Gina Carano. Gina
Yes,
Carano kind of started.
Yes, but she was in
I
Strike
just-
Force that didn't get a lot of view. Like Ronda was in the UFC, which got. I mean, she was
Oh, yeah, that's
popping like 1.5 million buy rates. Like she was her.
It takes a
So
it takes an extra layer of like personality and something
Oh,
else
100%.
for people to be like mainstream out of MMA. Like the people that know MMA people are people that care about MMA. And
yes,
for the most part, like the rest of the people don't know. Like
it's
if I
gotten
asked
to the
if I asked random person who John Jones was, they'd just be like, I don't know, some guy who's like a dentist. Like the name is John Jones. Like it's the
You know what's
most
funny more because
basically.
I'm like a really big UFC fan, so I know, but like I have friends that are more casual fans that kind of watch casually, and they more so know John Jones now for like the stuff
All the
that
drug
happens,
stuff. Yeah.
outside of the octagon than what he does inside, and it's a shame because he's one of the best to ever do it. But he's been his own worst enemy. His biggest opponent has been himself. He literally cannot stay out of trouble. There was the one time where he was partying the week of a fight and like doing
Did
a
he
bunch
run
of stuff.
somebody over with a car?
But no, he got in an accident and a pregnant woman was in the other car. And then he had 2 prostitutes in his car. and other stuff. He left
It's
on
like
Sounds
the
like,
drugs
sounds
are
like a
enough.
GTA mission.
he left on
Sounds like a
foot.
GTA mission.
He left on foot. Like he ran away, left the
Jesus.
2 women in the car, ran away. and this was like it was just a string of different things.
Yeah.
But case in point, what I'm saying is right now, and you brought up Connor as well. Connor he keeps saying, I'm gonna fight. He hasn't fought in fucking 4 years. Like Connor's never
He's
gonna fight
lost.
again. Well,
He's
not only that,
I
he's
think
made,
what happened is the Floyd fight. Ever since the Floyd
But
fight, he's
not
that Floyd
even
fight paid him like 150 million.
no.
He's not
He
getting
made
anywhere near that again.
250 million from selling his whiskey brand. He put $8 million into a whiskey brand. 3 years later, sold it for 250.
So proper
Who the
number
fuck is
12
buying
or
this guy's
whatever.
whiskey?
Yeah, a lot of people. It's pretty good, but it trust me, I had it a lot one night. but no, it was but he sold like he's making so much money outside the UFC. He doesn't care. Bro, last year, and this is like one quick story, and then we'll get to like more wrestling stuff. We'll get to go over
Or
stuff.
wrestling.
But my friend last year was at a bar at the Jersey Shore last summer. There's like July or August. I think it
What
might
is
have
this,
been
a
August.
Springsteen song?
What? No, but no.
Back from the dead, Cam May, what's up? Go ahead.
He was at a bar at the Jersey Shore, and who pops up behind the bar to start serving drinks? Conor McGregor, like the actual Conor McGregor. He had an event with his whiskey brand.
It
or
wasn't a
whatever.
photocopy?
No, he literally rolled up and started twerking and dancing and
Twerking?
and he was he was doing the.
How can
You
a
know,
white
he-
guy
it-
be
it's
twerking?
There's a I'll send you guys a video after.
We
the
don't
show.
need to see a video of that.
What? No, but he was serving like he's literally got fuck you money. He's just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. He was in Philly, fucking.
Well, he'll be broke sooner
taking
than-
shots
sooner
with
than
people
later.
in the street watching the Eagles games. He doesn't give a
Good
fuck.
for him.
He's fucking yeah. I mean, look, he made his money. Good for him. But he like UFC and TKO are struggling right now because they're still trying to sell a pay-per-view model and they don't have the money or they don't have the names that are gonna sell pay-per-views. And if people
And they
like,
also price people out too. $100 for a pay-per-view, close to that. That's ridiculous.
What the hell is
Dude.
that?
dude, even if it's a big fight, I'm gonna probably go to a bar that fucking
Yeah.
shows
It's
it
just not worth
and
it.
grab a couple wings, you get some beers, and just fucking
Back
just
from the
chill
dead
and
in the
watch
chat
game.
says John Jones is a Martian manhunter. How do you
Yes.
twerk with no ass
is
is
true.
back?
But,
I mean,
you know,
wasn't whatchamacallit got to be in that movie, so he's got to be doing pretty good. McGregor, he's in
Oh, yeah.
fucking whatchamacallit.
oh yeah, all
He's
these
in the
guys, like,
Coneheads
guys I'm-
remake.
The guys I'm
Roadhouse,
talking
right?
about, oh yeah, the guys I'm talking about are all. Even John Jones has made a shit ton of money. His brother made over 150 million in the NFL.
Yeah, like I said,
Chandler
the,
Jones.
the idea that like you can push your guy, like this is the guy. We're making this guy won the championship. He's colorful. He's outspoken. He's got tattoos. He's like I said, that Sean O'Malley guy. I was like, oh, this is the guy they're putting everything behind. And then he lost, and he's just like, now he's just a guy. Like I'm sure he'll come back or whatever, but like it doesn't like once you
Yeah,
sort
he
of
just
your
yeah,
shelf
he just
life
lost
is
his fight
very
just now
short.
the other day.
So I'm saying
Yeah.
it's very short. Like, and you're talking about like propping up match cards with names. It's really hard to do that when your shelf life is so short like that. Like, you know, some guy wins and they're the guy for like, you know, a month or two, and then somebody else wins and they're the guy. And then just like after a while, you're just like,
And
it's just a cycle of guys. And the fact that like what you're saying is when he was like, oh, all these guys are foreign or whatever, like the American public is like, oh, it's another guy that like is another foreign guy that I don't know, that like I don't have any real attachment to, or you are attached to that person because they're from specific place or whatever it is. But like that can only last for so long because, you know, like wrestling is great because shit, you could have the 50-something-year-old guy win all the time, and in the end, he'll be there for you to promote the product and be like, hey, look, CM Punk is gonna be here. He's gonna be at the match, and he's still gonna matter. Whereas is like boxing, I feel boxing is a little different because, like, I don't know.
No, boxing is also kind of
Bro.
suffering.
Bro, what the
Heavyweight.
fuck? What is happening right
What?
now?
What?
No, he's looking at the chat. That's
No,
why.
no.
I think.
So Brody, what's his name? Brody Lee, the guy that passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, Brody
Yeah.
Lee.
His wife just tweeted out 5 hours ago. This number keeps texting Brody. It's sending him selfies of women asking if he likes to pick. She posted the fucking phone number on Twitter.
Holy shit.
What the fuck? How do I report this beyond the iPhone report and block feature? Bro, I don't know, man.
That's rough.
Looks like her husband was doing some other shit on the fucking phone.
I mean, like, who is this person that they're like, let me send like nude photos to this person? Like, if this person was in a relationship with Brody or had any sort of like thing with Brody or whatever,
It's the same
you
phone
would
number,
think that they would
apparently.
know- But you would think that they would know that he's.
That's gotta be the
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
Bucks fucking around.
Yeah, definitely the Young Bucks.
Yep.
The Cucamonga boys.
I don't know. I don't know why you would tweet that. She tweeted the phone number. It's crazy.
It seems
It's not a
weird
good
that,
thing to
like,
do.
Anyone that would know or that had, like I said, wouldn't they know that he was dead? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you had some sort of like sexual
Hey, the
relationship
Saudis didn't know that some of these wrestlers were dead, so who knows?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wrestlers,
yeah, they're
They went to
Saudis acting
Yokozuna.
dead wrestlers.
they're a perfect example of what to judge people by. What did they want? Ultimate Warrior and like who else? Who were they? They were getting like so many dead people. They were like resurrecting people.
So the next thing we're gonna get into is
UFC.
Goldberg. So Goldberg, well, no, first we'll start with Gunther. Gunther won the title back from Jey Uso.
Oh,
Money
this
in the
goes
Bank.
into Rikishi territory.
What I mean,
Wait,
Hooray!
didn't
I was
Rikishi
gonna
say
say-
something?
I was gonna skip over Rikishi. No, Rikishi made a video the next day. He was on Twitter the next day. Like, I don't know why he.
See, I
did
didn't
this.
see the video, so I don't know what they said.
Oh no, Rikishi. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something about like I don't know. You know, I'm disgusted they took the title off him. Like something like he like Rikishi is
Yeah.
really like.
I fucking told
I
you,
said-
man. Triple H listens to this
Why
guy.
did it? He said, "Why did they give the title to him if they were only going to keep it on him for so long? You didn't get him to
I
show
do
what he
kind of
could
agree
show.
with that.
He was a transitional
kinda
champion
agree
in
with
the
it.
first place.
Yeah.
But why have him win the
Like,
Rumble though? What was the
he
point
was
of having him win
never-
the Rumble? Rumble's worthless.
To give the fans the like happy moment. Jay won the title. Everybody's happy. We can all yeet together. Nobody was ever truly behind him as the champion.
Well, also,
like-
Rikishi's acting like this is the first ever transitional champion. Like, this is
Rikishi's a clown because
But I
he
also
sits there
feel
and bitches and moans about Jay's booking and about Solo's booking. Meanwhile, he doesn't give a shit about
Solo
Jimmy.
actually
He
does
doesn't
need to
say
be
anything
pushed.
about
Solo's
Jimmy.
great.
yeah.
Solo's great on the mic. That guy needs to
I've
be
said
pushed.
Solo.
Here's the thing. He could feel it's his son. He could feel however he wants to feel. They have a different. Obviously, he's the dad. He's gonna feel a certain way. But I have a feeling Rikishi, even if they gave Jey Uso a fucking year-long title run to the next WrestleMania and he lost it there, that Rikishi would still be bitching about it.
Yeah, he's never
he-
gonna.
like-
he's not happy. He's never
No,
happy.
no. I
He's-
like.
his son, who is legitimately a tag team wrestler and like achieved world championship status, and he's still bitching about it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, get over it, dude. Like, honestly, the only like thing that I can say is like, your son got over with a catchphrase and he got a title out of it. You should be thanking your fucking stars that he got that, because nobody in their right mind thought that Jey Uso was a world champion until he started getting over with Yeet. He was essentially like the mid card guy, and Roman Reigns is like henchman. So
He's
like,
also
I don't know.
he's lucky that he couldn't do this in the Vince era. He could not go on podcast because that kid would be fucking buried under 8 feet of dirt if he fucking was doing this during the Vince era. He's only getting away with it now because I guess they just don't give a shit about what these wrestlers said. The only time
I mean, like,
anybody could ever bury the product on TV and Vince was okay with it for whatever reason was Bret Hart. Bret Hart would, when he had his podcast, would bury Raw and then he'd be on Raw the next week.
wait, don't they listen to
Yeah.
Rikishi? Don't they listen to Rikishi now? I thought that's what you were saying. That like,
No, they
Rikishi
do.
told them,
He
let's-
probably do.
let's
I'm
do-
talking about they don't like. There's no consequences for him. Like if this was Vince McMahon era, like, and he was saying this shit online, his son would be fucking
Yeah.
with losing the title. He'd be fucking at catering, not even
Yeah,
on the
I don't
show.
think. I doubt that they give a shit what Rikishi says about like on his
Well,
podcast.
I don't
they don't
think
care
Triple
about
H does.
they don't care about what any of these
Triple
wrestlers
H
say.
definitely
Really,
doesn't.
I do like that they don't care that the wrestlers can just speak their wrestlers are on podcasts now while they're at WWE saying, yeah, I don't like the way they're doing this, or this could have been done better. Like, you couldn't do any of that shit back when Vince was there.
Right.
Because if you said you were walking on eggshells.
Yep.
Because if you said
You couldn't
anything
even
was
sneeze.
wrong,
You couldn't even sneeze
Like-
near Vince, much
Yes.
less do that.
Yeah.
But
So-
why is that so different now? Like, do they really think like that weren't people aren't gonna like book them badly if they talk shit? Like, I mean, like couldn't we take this as an example of Rikishi bitching was the reason why whatchamacallit lost the title? Because he was bitching before he lost the title.
No,
Like,
I think they had this plan for the whole what we're going to get into. What like this was like once like all the stuff started coming out about Goldberg, like immediately after WrestleMania, that's what you started hearing the news about Goldberg. He's training, he's this, he's that, and about the inevitable Gunther thing. I knew that eventually Gunther was going to win this back. I didn't know when they were going to do the Goldberg match, but I knew that eventually Gunther was going to win it back so he could wrestle with Goldberg and have the title be on the line.
I'm surprised they're not doing it at SummerSlam.
Conspiracy
surprised
theory
they're not
about
doing-
Triple H, like the I needed Goldberg versus Gunther needed the title involved. To me, is a cop out just for them to take the title off of Jey Uso. But they were just like, yeah, we don't.
I don't
we
know.
They
don't really
did to
want-
CM Punk. They took the
Maybe-
title off him for Jericho and Shawn Michaels.
They
I
also
mean,
took
they
the
did
title-
it with they did it
Brock.
with Jinder when with AJ and Brock.
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
Well, no, but the rumor was that Brock didn't want to work with Jinder, though.
Yeah, you don't want to work
Yeah,
with
That
him.
I mean,
was, I remember that was
yeah,
before. He didn't want to work with.
Well, they did it with with Punk when they wanted the title attached for Cena Rock too. They just took it off of Punk.
And
I mean,
Cena Rock never.
granted, he
Cena
had
Rock
a
never needed
champion.
that, by the way.
He had a championship run for a year and a half almost. But what I'm saying is that they just took it off just so that title could be a title match. That's the only reason they
Yeah.
did that.
I don't think that's like I don't like that always seems kind of I don't know, like just seems like frivolous. Like it's not necessary to me most of the
Oh
time.
yeah, no,
Like,
look, I agree. I'm just saying that that's probably why they did it. Now, could have Rikishi's bitching costed him? Maybe I don't know. The only person that knows that is people behind the scenes. But all we know is that he was bitching about them not using his son correctly. Then after he bitched, immediately he's winning the Royal Rumble. He's winning the title of Mania. He's again. I don't know if those two things parallel. I know Perry has made has assumed that. I don't fucking know. I'm reading what's in front of me. It was just like that stuff happened, and then it was all like whatever happened after that was. Like, it seemed like it was like immediately after that. It was like, all right,
Yeah,
we're pushing Jey Uso.
they didn't really want Jay winning that. They just did that for the rest. They just only did that shit for the WrestleMania moment. It's all they wanted.
They did it for
Really
That's all
just
they
Rikishi.
felt
wanted.
like-
The WrestleMania moment.
it really felt like Yeet Mania. Like I really just like I
Well,
don't.
here's
like,
what really
Well, here's
happened.
the-
So
here's the-
so Rikishi said all that shit, okay? Triple H went home, turned on the lights, and his toilet was destroyed. That was a calling card. That was a message. So then he wrote, "Oh
That
shit,
was like
we gotta
when the
we gotta
when
have
the
this guy
Nolan-
win the Rumble, then we gotta have him win WrestleMania."
That's
that-
the other thing about Rikishi being this like voice of like what should be and how things should go and like what's the proper way to do things is hilarious because he's just like a guy that got over because he had a weird giant ass. Like it's
Well,
just
here's the-
very fucking like he was a good wrestler, but like he was never like some fucking
no.
like main guy that could like Jey Uso is way more elevated than
Oh, yeah,
Rikishi
100%.
ever was. And
100%.
I don't think I'm sitting here telling you that Jey Uso is not a main event guy. And even before he was the main event guy, I felt he was over his father. So it's
He-
like listening to
here's the
him
thing.
bitch is like I don't know, like what who cares?
Here's the thing. And I don't think it has to do with Rikishi. Wait, that family has a different amount of influence. I'm just being 100% honest. That
Oh,
whole
so what are they money
Samoan-
hatting Sony over here?
no, it's just that I mean they're one of their family members is on the fucking is on the board. Like
Yeah.
it's just there's a different kind of influence they have, different ears they have than if my son was in the fucking WWE or some shit. They're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
So do you
But
think The
like,
Rock had a say in Jay winning the title?
no, 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 no. Here's the
I don't.
I don't want to go off on a tangent with the Jey Uso thing. The thing is that I think that it was a mixture of a handful of things. I think one, it is Jay's moving merch. Jay is over with the crowd. He makes
Yep.
money for them. So I think that has a
The
lot to
kids.
do with it as well. And also
The kids love him.
it's not like he was like fucking, wiping floors one week and the next week he was on fucking TV winning the Rumble. Like he was, on TV every week, over with the crowd, moving merch. The crowd are into the Yeet thing, whatever. He has a big entrance, whatever. But I mean, could Rikishi, not saying that he talked to them directly or whatever, but they could have seen that and be like, hey, maybe we'll do something with this fucking kid. He is moving merch. He is doing this. He does have the crowd. Could it influence people backstage that have, yeah, it could have. I mean, again, I'm not saying that that's 100% what happened, but it could have happened. Who the fuck knows? I don't fucking know. Good for him. Whatever he's doing, it's working, and whatever's going. I mean, he lost the title, but he's fine, bro. He's making money. He's on TV every week. He's chilling. Like,
It's like
who gives a
you
fuck?
see that that meme where it's like the one person is holding the kid over like out of the water, and then the other kid is like floating on the water but like barely drowning, and then underneath the water there's someone like sitting on a chair that's a skeleton, and it's like they attach things to it, and it was like Jey Uso and like Solo, and then Jimmy is the skeleton at the bottom of the ocean when it comes to Rikishi
Wait.
giving himself.
So,
Yeah,
wait, so
yeah.
I'm curious because I don't really pay attention to Rikishi. Does Rikishi ever say anything about Jimmy not getting booked?
Never.
No,
So was he the
Yeah.
redheaded stepchild? Was he the redheaded
No.
stepchild? Like what?
but
the
he
heck?
realizes
It's just
that
not important.
to him, he realizes that Jay's in a better position than Jimmy is. Jimmy's not moving merch like Jay is. Jimmy's not getting the reaction that Jay gets. He's not like that was his main point the whole time.
I don't
Rikishi
blame
was
him
when he-
for wanting his son to capitalize on his
Oh yeah, no,
popularity and his fame.
100%.
I'm just
Again, I'm not saying I'm not saying how he should feel about his son because that's his son. He has an attachment. I would want my son to fucking do this, like be the fucking biggest star in the world. Like I'm not saying how he should feel about his son. That's their own thing. Whatever. I want to respect that, but also I'm just saying that again. I don't even know if that has anything to do with it. It's just like that's the thing. But anyway, Gunther beats him for the title, and then Goldberg interrupts Gunther's celebration on Raw and tells Gunther, "You're next." And evidently the match will be taking place at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, which is the hometown of Goldberg. He's from Georgia. And
that's starting it out. That match is first.
that's the only match announced for it.
Saturday night's main event is backwards. The main event's always first.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only match. And this
Yeah, but if Seth cashes in, there's no way they're doing that match first, though.
I don't
If
know.
Seth cashes in,
Who knows what's gonna happen? But anyway, it's a singles match. It's in Atlanta. It's gonna be Goldberg's retirement match. There was talks before the Raw that he had hurt himself training. And he did come down to the ring with a limp, a little bit. But yeah, how do you feel about this, Perry? I know how you feel about it. But
Shout out to
how do you feel about
RWK in the chat for $1.99 super chat. Appreciate that,
him- Hold
buddy.
on, RWK.
Says night,
Thank
you all really enjoyed it. Fire. Thank you. All right.
Yep, appreciate it. How do you feel about him coming back?
Let me tell you
Him-
something. Okay? I seen on Twitter all these guys like, why is it Goldberg? He's hurt people. It's like, guys, it's wrestling. Who gives a shit? He hurt Bret Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart wrestled 3 weeks after he got kicked in the head. Remember that? Remember when Bret Hart fell off his bike? Not a motorcycle, by the way, a bike. Without his helmet on in 2002? Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. I
Didn't he
remember.
have a
I
stroke?
remember that. Yeah, he
yeah,
he was riding his bike, not a motorcycle, a bike, and he hit a
And he had a
pothole.
stroke.
He went flying off the bike. He didn't have a helmet on, cracked his head on a rock, and he suffered a stroke. And that's what really fucking did him in. Anyway, let's blame this fucking kick.
I heard that he had the stroke while he was on the bike, and that's what caused him to get in the accident. But like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, either way,
he didn't have a helmet on
had-
because he did this whole campaign about wearing a helmet when you ride a bike or whatever the fuck. Well, here's the thing: Goldberg kicked him in the head. I'm sure that caused him a concussion, but at the end of the day, he wrestled for 3 more weeks after that. I think he wrestled Terry Funk in a hardcore match after that fucking match. Anyway, and by the way, Goldberg apologized to him several times back in the day, and Bret Hart accepted his apology. The thing was, Bret Hart started seeing all these guys making a shit ton of money coming out of retirement, and he couldn't do it. That's why Bret Hart all of a sudden turned a 180-degree thing over here and started hating on Goldberg again. Anyway, now that we have that in context.
Perry, are you telling me that Bret Hart is bitter?
No, he's very angry.
Well, here's the thing, and I will put this out because I feel like I have to. Bret Hart can be bitter because he's Bret Hart.
He's awesome. He's the man. We all know that.
Yeah. I'm just.
We're not saying anything bad about him, but we're just saying like this is a habit with this guy. Same thing with WCW. Oh yeah, I loved Eric Bischoff, right? All of a sudden, oh, he was a fucking asshole. And Hogan.
Well, the
it's
one
like,
thing the one thing you can say about Bret is he speaks his mind. I like that.
right.
Oh yeah.
But he changes his mind a lot.
Yeah, over the years, his opinions on a lot of things have changed.
Anyway.
But so, how do you feel about him coming out and them doing it with Gunther?
I didn't like the limp because I was like, God damn it, this is your last match and you're fucking showing people why you had to leave. That wasn't cool. Gunther,
he probably couldn't hide it if he actually legitimately got hurt training, because that was the news that came out like the week before, was that he had hurt himself.
Yeah, but suck it up, Buttercup. You're walking to the fucking ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you don't want him to look like crippled off the bat. Like,
well, he didn't look like that his last few matches, but now this is his last match and he's starting to look like that. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's like if The Rock came out and he weighed 800 pounds. You'd be like, what the fuck happened to The Rock?
Just like, they can't, the problem is they can't like hold it off. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've already like,
well, he picked this, well, this was all in conjunction with him.
Kalos, what's up, buddy?
He picked the opponent. He did all of that. This was all like he pretty much had control over setting this up. He wanted to do it in Atlanta, and they set all this up. He wanted to do it.
I think WWE rushed this thing because they just wanted to get it over with. So he'll do his little match in Atlanta, and then that'll be it. They'll move on. I honestly do think this was rushed. I don't think he's 100%. And we've seen that the way he walks to the ring, but I think they just want to get it over with.
Yeah, but they could easily hold it off if they really want.
They can't hold it off because Cena's retiring, and then what are you going to do? You're going to push it into next year? It's now or never for this guy.
Just do another Saturday night's main event.
Oh, okay. All right, what?
Terry, if you think it's rushed and that they like didn't like have the plan for it, do you think he's going to win, or do you think it's going to be like a mosh thing, or where like they have Seth come in, or like what do you think the
if it wasn't in Atlanta, I would say he was losing, but it's in Atlanta. I think he's winning, and then he's going to get it taken off that night.
Don't go over.
Hey, they did this with they did this with Triple H. That one that was a No Mercy. Triple H beat Orton in the first match, and at the end of the last match, Randy Orton beat him for the belt. So the belt changed twice in one night, or 3 times in one night.
So he could win, and then technically if they do the cash in, depending on how that all
they could do the cash in as soon as he wins, or he could win. He could lose, and then Gunther thinks he's cleared. Goldberg spears him, jackhammers him, walks out. Seth cashes in, wins the title. You can even do it that way. You could do it. Goldberg wins in the beginning of the show, since that's the main event, and then at the end of the show, Seth cashes in and ruins it for Goldberg. So Goldberg got his little night, but he also put the other guy over and left. That was it.
I could see. I like the idea of him. He puts over Gunther, but then he spears Gunther, like destroys Gunther, and then Seth cashes in.
If it wasn't Atlanta, yeah, I would say that would be the ending if it was Atlanta. But because
here's the only thing with
if it wasn't Atlanta, he would totally lose. I guarantee you.
Here's the only thing with Seth cashing in on Gunther. Does that turn Gunther babyface, though?
No, but Gunther was calling him out, and then Goldberg interrupted him.
They're already trying that. They're legitimately already trying that. If you haven't noticed, they're definitely trying to get people to sort of like
cheer Gunther.
Yeah, like because he's
Okay,
not.
see, I haven't
He's
paid
not.
attention as much.
He's not doing the "I'm better than you" stuff. He's doing the like more like he's kind of reverted back to like the like mate. The mat is sacred. Like I'm gonna just beat you.
Oh,
I'm
so,
the best.
What
Like
did Seth?
very
oh,
much
like his Intercontinental title run, pretty much.
yeah,
What?
he's very much more like the
Listen,
ring general, just being that way and
Okay.
not he even like they had what did he? Because he's like talk shit to like Logan Paul and they have him
Oh yeah,
like
Logan. Yeah,
definitely
Logan
like
Paul.
facing off against like obvious like heel type people and sort of get like crowd like gauging crowd reaction to like how it could go if they made him face because like I said Triple H always looking to make somebody in a face like always this is like the the nature of it as soon as someone is over and they're kind of cheered by fans they're going to be a face
hey,
and they're
what
going to
if
leave right
That's
at
why I'm. That,
what if
that's why
Cena
I'm surprised that
retires
he
the
put
belt?
Braun with
Hey,
stuff.
listen, what if Cena retires with the belt? Right as he's leaving the ring for the last time, Rollins cashes in, beats John Cena, and
Oh,
then
that'd
you,
be
you
awesome.
do
They
Cena.
could.
You do Punk and fucking Rollins at WrestleMania for the WWE title, not this world shit.
So with Punk competing in this, do y'all see Punk competing at the Royal Rumble in Saudi next?
He's gonna have to.
Yeah,
If
he's
he's
pretty
going
much
over
not
there
even
now, he's
favored.
gonna
He's
win
not
it.
Yeah. If he's going over there now, yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean he's going to want to be in the rumble.
Now, also about the Gunther Goldberg thing, remember they originally teased this at Bad Blood in October, when they had Goldberg ringside. So and
For this
apparently, apparently they've been trying to get this like
Well,
they've been trying to get a
Goldberg
date for this match. And
Goldberg has
said he
been
needed
getting
time to get ready.
Goldberg's been getting stem cell therapy for the last few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, and he's
Really?
and
Wow.
Yeah.
he originally. I mean, the stem cell stuff does work. I mean, you could ask Rey
Right,
Mysterio
but
about
that's
that.
why he's not 100% because he's been getting
Yeah.
the stem cells the entire year for the most part. And you know, sometimes when you get that stuff, it takes a while to take. Some guys it takes two right away. Some guys it doesn't. Sometimes it makes them worse. So
They do that blood spin and stuff, like the platelet rich
Ooh.
plasma, where they like take your blood out and then they put it in a centrifuge and they spin it around
well,
and like it adds like extra red blood cells and then they like re-inject it back into you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was going to Spain or something for that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like it's oh my god, it's like
Because
I think
Kevin
like-
Nash was getting it done for his knee
yeah,
or whatever the
and,
fuck.
and that's the same same place Rey Mysterio went for his knee.
It's all these
Plate- yeah,
WCW
platelet
guys.
rich plasma. That's what it's called, platelet rich plasma.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, no, it's so hopefully he's looks decent in the match. It
He's
should be
got 3
fine.
fucking weeks. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he's got
He's got to get rid of that limp in 3
July
weeks.
12th, 2025. And we'll see what other matches are on that card too. But yeah, so this is Saturday night's main event and will be on NBC and Peacock. So
Yeah, we're throwing
Yeah.
a Goldberg party at the shop for that.
nice.
So win, lose, or draw. Now, if he loses, we're gonna throw pizzas at the fucking street.
But yeah, so Goldberg, final match of his near 30-year career. So
Yeah, he should have went out at a pay per view, but what are you gonna do?
I think he wanted it in Atlanta, so I mean I guess this is how they were able to do it.
Well, he debuted
So-
in Atlanta, so
Yeah.
it only makes
so,
sense.
Yeah. What else are we talking about here? Let me see here.
Milf man, what do you think's gonna happen to Bill Goldberg?
I honestly think it's kind of. I honestly think since it is Atlanta, he's winning in 90 seconds tops. That match ain't going past 90. I'll be surprised.
Hey, you know what? You know what sucks
He's like-
about Goldberg? Okay, he cut a really good promo tonight on Raw. The guy never cut promos in WCW because he sucked at them. Since coming back to WWE, this guy can cut a goddamn promo and tell a story.
yeah.
He was fucking fantastic with Michael Cole. And it's like, wow, this guy's retiring. It's like, shit. It's too
He
bad.
has gone better at that. I
Yeah.
agree. He has gotten better at that.
Because he's believable.
But it feels
he's
like-
just fucking Bill.
It feels like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That he's just essentially more comfortable just being himself
Yeah,
instead of being a character.
he's not like, "Ugh." Remember me and Gene were like, hey, what do you guys say? You go, "Ugh." What
Yeah.
the well, that sucks. Anyway,
But yeah, but they try to, they almost, in WCW, it was almost like he was made out of a lab, like he was out of a lab or some shit. Like he was like,
yeah, but you
supposed to be
see,
just like this guy. that
you
just
see,
was
Nick,
like a
the
guy that just-
WWE audience, okay, they're conditioned to not like this guy. Number one, because he's a WCW guy. Number two, the guy could never wrestle. This is not breaking news. I know people, it's hard for people to understand this. And I'm not talking about Sean over here. I'm talking about the internet because I see this shit online all the time. Oh, he can't work. He's not like Bret Hart or Regal. It's like he was never fucking built to be those guys.
That's why
Because he
had short
couldn't work.
matches and-
Yeah, that was the whole point of the character. He's a football player.
And
He
he
smashes
squashes
you and he fucking leaves. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be Stone Cold. I know they looked the same, and even back in the day, they made fun. They were compared because they were two bald guys in black trunks. But one was a fucking brawler,
boots.
and one was a fucking machine. They were two completely styles of wrestling. But they were the top guys of each respected company. Taz, yeah, he's a little fucking midget. However, he was the face of ECW during that era.
Daz was the fucking man.
He
Daz
was the man.
Yeah.
He was hurting people. He went to WWF. He looks like a little fucking baby.
Besides his debut, he was,
I was there for
When he
that. My
debuted-
ears almost fucking fell off.
bro. That place went fucking ballistic.
They went crazy. I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was over as hell.
Yeah, he was good, but the
And
minute
then
that he
Vince did
fucking
nothing with him.
debuted, that was the end of Taz. That was the Taz we should have gotten throughout the WWF,
There-
but we never got it. Instead,
there
he
what,
sat
2.5
down and fucking did commentary like a cartoon character, and he's throwing popcorn at people. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway. But these guys were top guys back in the day, and people don't realize it because a lot of these guys were born during the fucking John Cena era, and they don't remember all that. They weren't around for that stuff. This guy was a top guy, like insanely popular. And the people that don't like him today that are older, like my age, they were either WWF guys or I don't know. But I was the WWF guy that liked WCW, and I knew Goldberg was the man over there, and I was like, wow, this guy's great. And by the way, when the WWF sucked in 2000 during the McMahon-Helmsley era, I was happy to flip over to Nitro and watch Bill Goldberg wrestle fucking Sting or DDP or whoever the fuck. And by the way, he had a great match in the WWE against Mark Henry on Raw. It was a fantastic match. Then you had him against Psycho Sid at Halloween Havoc 99. Great fucking match. Bloody as hell. They beat the shit out of each other.
Didn't he have a good match with Steiner?
He had great matches with Steiner.
Scott,
Fall
yeah,
Brawl
pay-per-view.
2000, but nobody fucking remembers that. And by the way, he put over Scott Steiner in that match. Clean. He put over Booker T clean. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah. I've seen that.
No, but people still bitch and moan and complain about him beating the feet.
Well, here's the thing, okay? And I'm going to
Still
bring
bitch
this
about
up.
that shit.
I'm going to bring this up again for the 900th time. When Vince McMahon ran out of ideas for the WWF, he started, and this is all on the fucking DVDs they released in the 2000s. He started saying, oh, you have to hone your craft. You have to hone your craft. WWF was never a wrestling company, okay? They were always a cartoony wrestling. You wanted real wrestling? Real. You went and watched WCW, okay? When McMahon ran out of ideas, he relied on guys like Benoit and all these other fucking guys. Because he had he couldn't write a story, save his life. We saw the stuff on TV. This guy's fucking having sex with all these girls on TV, and it's like, what are the wrestlers doing? Oh yeah, Benoit's wrestling fucking Eugene, who just shit his pants. Oh, fucking great. That's exactly what I want to see. Horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the whole thing. He was like, oh, you guys got to hone your craft. And he turned this whole narrative into, forget about creative. You want to come for the wrestling, so we're going to give you the best wrestling. It's like, no, fuckface, you ran out of ideas. So the only way you're going to get over is how you used to get over back in the day and wrestle. So then you had these wrestling purists, quote unquote purists, who are 800 pounds and have page photos on their fucking t-shirts. Those guys are telling the wrestlers what they should be doing. So yeah, I mean Goldberg was a legend. You know, I keep reading shit that Austin was overrated. And I was like, Stone Cold was overrated. The only reason why you're watching WWE right now is because of that guy.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't come along, buddy, they'd be out of business right now.
Yeah.
You'd be watching Hulk Hogan versus fucking Gunther right now.
Yeah.
And Hogan would be beating him. You'd see Gunther on the floor, they spray paint NWO on his back. You'd be watching that now on Saturday night's main event.
Oh, speaking of Austin, y'all did hear that Austin said he's willing to do one more match.
Yeah, he's been saying that for 25 years.
He's another guy though.
Dude, he looks like a fucking rubber chicken without a shirt on. What happened to him?
Oh, wait. Speaking of rubber chicken, did you see your favorite Perry, Chris Jericho, lost a lot of weight?
I don't believe that photo.
Did you see?
I think that was fucking Grok.
Oh, Ozempic, Chris Jericho, that's it called?
Bro, he's on
Ozempic
he's got to
Chris.
be doing Ozempic like Phil Spencer, or he's got to be doing heavy coke like John Jones.
Maybe he's doing both.
Well,
Probably.
you know we did talk about Goldberg real quick though. Do you know people were saying like not just Braun? I did see Braun get brought up, but who should have been his final opponent was fucking Big E.
Well, yeah, because Big E loves him.
Yeah, Big E Big E loves Goldberg.
Big E grew up a Goldberg fan and got into the business because of Goldberg. But you know, Goldberg sucks, so let's not.
Yeah. It's just because I think we would have seen
Big E
that
probably
match
would have been the
eventually.
opponent, but the problem is he broke his fucking neck.
Yeah, bro. The neck stuff for
Yeah, and that sucks because you know it would have been nice to see this guy. I think Gunther likes Goldberg. I don't think he fucking hates him or anything, but
no.
It would have been nice to see camaraderie between Big E, a guy that grew up watching Bill, take him out. You know what I mean? But Braun Breaker should have been the one to beat him because it makes sense storyline wise. The Steiners beat up Goldberg, and then his son beats him up. But you know what? It's WWE. They never give you what you really want. They had Sting and Undertaker at the same fucking WrestleMania, and they didn't even do it. Oh no, we're gonna have Sting versus Triple H, and because Rock is coming in next year, we're gonna have Sting lose. Rock didn't come in the next year. Sorry. What?
Triple H just had to be the guy to bury the last.
Yeah,
WCW
fuck him.
wrestler.
Well, guess what? He
Yeah,
buried a
guy.
lot of shit in his chest. He can't fucking do it no more. So fuck him. Just saying, right? If we're fucking talking here.
Yeah,
That's true. Hey, I don't disagree.
But I think that's pretty much all the main stuff I had. Unless there's anything else somebody wants to bring up or whatever.
Let's talk about the winners of Money in the Bank and what could possibly happen with it.
Okay. So in terms of like the briefcases,
I was surprised they gave Naomi it. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think they would
Money
give
in the
her.
Bank.
Bro, listen,
mean-
really quick, going back to Jericho, and I'll let you guys finish. Dude, if he lost all that weight, you know what that means, right?
What?
He's playing Tony
Come back to
Khan.
WWE?
He wants to go back to WWE. He's been off AEW TV, they said now, for like 4 months. So he might be swinging the
is his
fucking
deal-
pendulum.
Is his deal
I think he's
coming
been
up?
touring though. Hasn't he been touring with Fozzy?
Nah, fuck him and Fozzy.
What, you didn't see the new Jardians commercial that he's in?
I don't even know what that is.
Jardians is like.
I don't follow this ass wipe.
It's not. Oh wait, what is it? Ozempic? Ozempic. That's it. Whatever.
No. But
Guardians of the
But yeah, so-
Ozempic.
in terms of Money in the Bank, Naomi winning. I thought that women's match was great. Naomi winning, I was not expecting her to win. I don't know where that like when she cashed in or if she is successful. I don't know because I just wasn't expecting her.
I
to
can't
win it.
take this shit no more.
I think she cashes in, and then Jade wins the catering, and then they'll do that match seriously. That's my prediction. Because they always get rid of that women's one very quickly, so she's going to cash in.
True. That is true, and there's that story there with Jade. So
They should set up Jade versus Tiffany. Have the Jade versus Tiffany match happen and have Naomi cash in on that match.
maybe do that. They could do that.
They've already had them square off, and like there's just too much hinting at Jade versus Tiffany with the square off.
Both of them being baby faces make no sense to me. God damn. These people have
Tiffany
heel
should
written
not.
all over.
Tiffany should not
Um,
be a babyface.
Seth Rollins winning the ladder match. I thought that match was great as well. But Seth winning it again, I wasn't really expecting him to win it. Um, but I guess
I'm
looking,
curious about that match. Did y'all like that spot that they did with did y'all like them pulling the trigger on Jacob turning babyface in that spot, or did you think they would wait? They should have waited for that.
I mean, I didn't mind it. I don't know. It didn't really bother me that much. I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought the Grande Americano spots that he did with that the Chad Gable is a madman and a half. For
I
for
have.
the shit he does.
The Stephanie Vaquera spot was great on Rhea Ripley. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I have
What's
a
up?
Jacob Fatu hot take. I said it earlier before the show was on.
Oh yeah,
but,
me and you was talking about that.
I just think that like he's super over right now, but that they're sort of spamming his catchphrase, and his promos aren't like coming across well because he's just being like shoved into this situation where he's like against someone who's like when they put him with Solo is better at talking than he is.
Yeah.
And then you have him talking against someone who's better, but then you're also giving him this like directive that he has to get in all of his catchphrases. And like I said before, his catchphrases are like a line of them. It's not one thing. He doesn't say like
Yeah, it sounds
get
cartoony
in
when
before
say
you
it.
fit in. It's like he does like 8 catchphrases in a row. And when you keep doing them over and over again in the same cadence and the same like order, even when they don't actually fit what the hell's going on, it starts to get like, what the fuck is this guy even talking about?
Yeah. I agree. I guess I don't
And-
like Jacob Fatu, and I think he's a good talker, but I do think that they're kind of pigeonholing him with some of the stuff they're having him do. It's whatever the guidance they're giving him. But it's like I don't know. I agree. It seems like it's just too much of the catchphrases one after the other kind of thing.
No, but I think though when you look at it, it's like I think Solo's going to turn babyface at some point because he's going to keep getting over with these promos he's doing and his facial expressions. That crowd's going to start cheering for him at some point because he is hilarious, especially that segment he had with Seth where he was like, "Is this a new bloodline? Is that?" He was like, "Who are you supposed to be?
Yeah,
Right hand man, Jey Uso?"
Pretty sure they'll like that like Hukaleo and like Zilla, whenever they bring those guys up. they'll
Well,
probably-
he debuted on main event, Hikaleo, recently.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you're on main event,
Oh,
like
man.
what is that?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean anything. He's not doing anything.
That's
He's not
true.
with anybody. I feel like at some point they're gonna have to beef up. Oh, maybe not because you just bring back the Tongans when they're healthy or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with them. I haven't heard anything about like. when they're-
He's hurt though. He probably. I think they said. I think I read he's gonna be out for at least like 6 months. What's the one that goes? The one that has
Tama
that
Tonga?
break with the health. Yeah, Tama Tonga.
What is Tamatonga's catchphrase?
That thing that he goes with because like he. Yeah.
But
Too
yeah,
bad
so
he
what
didn't
they-
add the eat to the end of the
Which is
what they
somehow
end up-
over because he was losing.
what they end up doing with Seth Rollins, though, I don't know. Like I said, I think that there could be a possibility of him cashing in Saturday night's main event.
Oh, what do you think about LA Knight? Is LA Knight really hurt, or what's going on with that?
I have no
Well, a
idea.
lot of people didn't like. A lot of people felt he should have won Money in the Bank. Not me, but a lot of people wanted him to win that Money in the Bank briefcase.
I don't think he's actually hurt. I could be wrong though.
Well, the way that they wrote it, like the way that they, tsunamied him and did all that stuff, that's usually like
Well, yeah, they
You know,
wrote him off TV. They wrote him off TV. it says that he's out.
Or maybe he wants time off. It could be maybe they just give him time off. And that's the way to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's, he could be back really shortly, but I don't know. It's just interesting how they were like, usually when they do that, they're writing somebody off because of injury or because they're going somewhere or something,
Yeah, it could be filming something, maybe like a Liv Morgan or something like a Liv Morgan. Oh wait, what y'all think of the Liv Morgan injury?
That's actually legitimate, I'm pretty sure.
That's huge. That's
Yeah, it is.
bad. Yeah.
Did she break her arm or something?
Dislocated her shoulder. You saw it on TV. It was fucking
That was
kind of
brutal.
crazy.
Oh, then Dominic got hurt too.
Well,
Really,
Dom,
she just fell down. Like she
From what-
did her
from what
thing where
I'm-
she like.
from what
Go ahead.
I'm reading, and again about the whole Dominic injury that was announced, I think tonight on Raw, that it might be like a kayfabe injury, and that he didn't want to go to Night of Champions because of everything going on. He didn't feel safe. That's what
Oh.
that's what people are saying. I don't know, because there was no news about a potential injury, nothing like leaked out beforehand, and he kind of just like it was kind of abruptly kind of brought up. So apparently, because there were like reports saying that some superstars were kind of feeling unsettling about going over there. So
I don't blame him.
yeah, and he has enough pull, because I mean he's a Mysterio, to be like, yo, I'm not going. Like I'm putting in PTO. See you next week.
Yeah.
But
I almost
again-
wonder if they turn Liv Morgan babyface when she returns.
I
They'll
mean,
probably make both of them babyface.
yeah, I mean,
Really, they shouldn't. They should leave them exactly how they are and just let the
Yeah.
fans cheer or boo them. But
yeah,
But it's
probably do
Triple H.
something stupid, and then all of a sudden Dominic will come out and they'll all be wearing white outfits and they'll be, like high-fiving the crowd and everybody's happy. Like I fucking hate that shit.
That's bad.
but
Just like I don't know. I don't see the need to like change something that's super over just because we're like, oh, this is people are cheering this, so let's like change the character that.
Yeah,
people
no,
are-
Hey, it's the Bobby Roode syndrome. Remember he had his remember when they brought him up from NXT?
It was
The guy was
glorious.
a perfect heel, and then all of a sudden now this guy's a damn babyface.
oh yeah, they
When
did
he was
that.
a perfect heel.
They did that a
that
lot.
song is a
In,
babyface song.
they did that a lot in the Vince era, where they was just like, oh, this guy's getting cheered. All right, next week he's a baby face, and I'm like, well, I mean he really was better as a heel, but if you even looked like you could potentially make money for Vince and whatever, he was like, all right, bet, I'm gonna turn him face and just try to, and then he would forget about him in 2 weeks, and then you would never see the person again.
That's it.
but-
You actually have to follow through. You can't just be like, oh,
Exactly.
we're turning them face, and then sort of like whatever. It didn't
Exactly.
work. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
But anyway, I really don't have anything else, honestly. It's getting pretty late. We're coming up on almost hour and 45 minutes. We gotta discuss everything. Unless there's something
What about
anybody else.
AEW?
What about AEW?
Does
Yeah, what
everybody
about
wanna talk about-
AEW?
What's
Doesn't
going on?
everyone
with
have-
They
AEW?
lost their
Mary's
TV
favorite?
deal. They're
Yeah.
gonna go down the toilet now.
What I did hear was that they did really their Dynamite show did really good. That they were like 700K or something, and that like
That's pretty sad.
That
With
was a-
700
Yeah, it's pretty
great
fucking
number.
sad.
I mean that was like
Tony
like
Khan.
what they were saying with the max watchers that it was probably like 1.2 or 1.1,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for them. They're moving along with the like Hangman Page.
God, Hangman Page, the guy who's bigger than CM Punk. The guy they chose over CM Punk.
His
Hangman,
fucking
it's
mustache
like
is bigger than
Hangman-
CM Punk. Bro, it
Hangman,
looks like he
Swerve,
fell in
and
horse shit
Ospreay.
and the fucking horse shit got on his face. That's what it looks like.
Was it Hangman, Swerve, and Osprey like are sort of like unlikely alliance sort of situation that's like against like Moxley.
Unlikely alliance for the guys that are signed to one company that have no choice.
So like here's the other thing. One thing about what they're doing is they've been doing this whole John Moxley has the title hostage. and like
Can appreciate
we're
that.
gonna like put our differences aside so that we can get this title off of him. And I keep seeing all these people, these AEW fans, talk about how it's such a great story and how it's like
Right?
so great. And I'm like, isn't that essentially the Roman Reigns story?
Bro,
Like,
AEW is like these
Yeah.
Xbox
The
guys.
story
They
makes
think
no
everything's great.
No, but the
Like-
story
like-
makes no sense because Hangman burned down in storyline. He burned down a man's house. Why am I being friends with somebody who just burnt down my childhood? Who burnt down my house?
like,
And then when he confronts him about it, then he confronts him about it, and
You know how
Swerve
much a
says,
house
"I
costs
deserve
today,
it."
too?
Why would I say I deserve to have my house burned down?
Right,
Right, doesn't make any
I deserve
sense.
my house to be burnt down.
he did like breaking. Swerve did like break into his house and shit like during that feud. Like they were doing
What?
stupid shit to each other.
Well, also that gives more reason for even like Hangman to be like, you broke into my fucking house. Why would I be like they both don't have any legitimate.
So wait a minute.
reason
He
to
broke
be-
into one guy's house.
It's
The other
just
guy
that-
lit his other house on fire.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he bought like his child.
Well, then you know what?
And then lit it on fire.
Here's how you make the storyline make sense. Now he's got to move in with Hangman, and they got to change
That's
the
what
locks
they're gonna
together.
Yeah.
The new Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. But Tony Khan's so fucking dumb he can't figure it out.
But
I don't know, just it seems exactly like the Roman Reigns story. Like
it does.
we all
It
got
is.
we all got to join together to get the title off of Roman Reigns.
What was the flowers this
and
guy used to
for the-
wear? You might as well have a fucking fat bald guy come out wearing the flowers. What was that thing called?
The Ulafala?
What, the
Uafala? Yeah, have him come out. Give it to Don Callis. Say, hey, go to McDonald's, get like 400 pounds like Paul Heyman.
That's the other thing. Everybody hates Don Callis, but they put Don Callis, like AEW seems to think that adding Don Callis to anything equals like success. So that like
Yeah.
all the AEW fans hate Don Callis, but then they're just like, oh, you know what Okada needs to be with Don Callis.
I miss that guy, but
Like,
he's got to come to WWE again. Him and Samoa
I mean,
Joe.
he's-
Just give me those two guys. We're good. Keep everyone else
At
over
this
there.
point, he feels like one of the most important people on AEW television.
I mean, he is. Dude, when I saw him walking out with the Young Bucks as their manager, I was like, bro, this guy looks like he's walking out with a couple of kids. This is
I heard somebody
embarrassing.
call Okada, and this was Okada is basically the
Okaki?
the
What's his
6
name?
foot tall. They call him the 6 foot tall what's the guy
Kendall?
from WWE? The short dude that got taken out at the Rumble. Forgot his Akira Tozawa.
Funaki?
They basically call him, that's basically how they have him. As a joke. How you pay this guy $4.5 million and he's basically the stooge of the Young Bucks?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know,
There's a
but,
lot of stupid
like-
shit that happened in that company.
He's been that champion for like the entire time he's been there.
Those
Oh, wait,
ratings
they're
are shot all
combining
the
the
way through the
titles.
roof.
Yeah, but they're
just didn't-
combining the titles now with the pay-per-view.
Honestly,
Yeah, no, I
I
just
would
don't like.
I would think you'd make an Okada like your world champion, bringing him in. Like,
Ooh, Eli says he likes Don Callis, but he needs a real tag team to manage. Wow.
But then, like, what about Swerve and what about
you could have Swerve.
Ospreay?
Eh,
and
fuck
what
Swerve. This guy fuck with Booker T. It's over for him. His career's over.
I'm saying you have all these guys that they think are the top guys. Like if
Well, yeah.
you think that if you have Moxley as the top guy, right, and then you have Omega and you have Swerve and
Bro,
you have Hangman
Why
and
does
you have Ospreay.
Mox look like fucking Homer Simpson every time I see that shit? This motherfucker looks like a real life Homer Simpson.
Don't
And
get
he's
me
getting
started
fat
on
too. Is he joining the Jericho Club? What's going on with these guys?
And I agree. You could have all those guys, like not all of them, obviously, but you could have those guys be players. But I also think they've, from what I've seen, again, I haven't seen everything. They've underutilized Okada, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think Okada should be, and I love Okada. I think
That was a
he's
$4.5
amazing.
million hug, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he got paid. Good
He
for
better
him.
squeeze his ass cheeks when he hugged him because I don't know what kind of hug that is. 4.5 million.
Donate some of that to me, bro.
Yeah, if he's just throwing money away like that, why not?
I'm in.
That's why Dustin Rhodes
But,
won't leave, because he's fucking swimming in the money over there.
hey man, if you can get paid, bro. I'm mad at you. Get your money.
We just keep paying Dustin Rhodes. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, again, it's if you're getting, but like, think of it this way. Like, people always talked about, like, we talked about R-Truth earlier. Why R-Truth was, he was pretty much a comedy character, this and that, and the third, whatever. I mean, but if you're getting paid 7 figures, I'm just chilling, bro. I'll do the fucking moonwalk every fucking week. You need me to, you paying me 7 figures? Like, who the fuck? Who cares, bro? And also, again, one further point I forgot to bring up about R-Truth. He always, like, his character was kind of like crazy, but when he was over, he was over.
I remember him in fucking TNA as Ron Killings, and then he did the 3-man crew with Road Dogg and Conan.
Bro, he had an idea one time where and WWE turned it down, but it would have been hilarious. Is when he had the little Jimmy character.
Yeah.
And it was when they were like, like sometimes you buy the action figure and you get like the prop with it, like it'd be like a chair, or like Triple H would have a sledgehammer or whatever.
Yeah.
He wanted to do his own action figure with little Jimmy, but it was an empty little spot in the like and WWE was like, no, like we can't do that, because parents would feel like they were getting ripped off if there was no like item in the extra spot. It was just a little Jimmy and it was just a blank.
But I'm like, made a clear figure.
Yes.
Like a
Yeah.
figure that
They should have done that.
Yeah, but it was so.
Well, they took that from Heidenreich, remember? Little Johnny. And Austin told him what it was. He basically told Austin that it was his dick.
God, Heidenreich. I forgot about
Because
this.
he said Little Johnny. He goes, I'll tell you where he is or who he is. And then he tells Austin, he whispers it into his ear, and Austin gives him a look like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I will say, like, I felt like, to me, that like Truth was pretty over during that whole tag team title run with Miz, when he was pretending to be part of the Judgment Day. Like he was like, every week people were super into what he was going to do with the Judgment Day.
Bro,
Damian Priest was constantly breaking character.
Bro, he got fucking, like, if you really think about it, like at one point, and CM Punk brought this up back in the day too, but like at one point Raw was so bad, the most over person was little Jimmy on the show. Like he got an imaginary character that had the biggest reaction from the crowd. Like, and again, that's not a knock on Truth. That's just him. That's how like good he was at getting that character over. But like, also there was no other, like his imaginary character was getting the biggest reaction on a show. Yeah. Like it was.
They should have pulled the trigger at that moment and gave him the title.
Who put Punk through the table? Cena this week?
Cena,
yeah.
So what does Truth have to do with that? Nothing? Because remember, I think it was Truth that put Cena through the table before the pipe bomb. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that?
He was supposed to wrestle Truth, and that's like, it all came out of that. Like he was wrestling Truth in that match, and then
right. And if Truth put Cena through the table, what was it, 13 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever the fuck he made the pipe bomb, it all comes back full circle. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I forgot
because it was Cena and Truth at Capital Punishment. Where remember they made him come out as a Confederate soldier. Fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah. Capital Punishment. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I think after that pay-per-view was that Raw or something, and he threw Cena through the fucking table, and then that's when Punk came out of nowhere and said, "Oh, fuck you," blah blah.
Yeah.
That's probably like the time period where I wasn't watching wrestling.
2011. Capital Punishment was June 19th, 2011.
So who put him through the table? I thought it was Truth that put Cena through the table.
John Cena defeated R-Truth by pinfall for the WWE title.
And someone put him through a fucking table. Who was it?
Yeah, who? Okay. Pipe bomb. Hang on. I'm gonna look this shit up. Raw, because now it's Raw.
I think Truth put him through the table, and then that's when Punk came out.
Let's see.
I could have sworn it was Truth. Because then that makes this whole thing come full circle at this point.
WWE loves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they can do it right.
Wiki. What date was the fucking
Yeah,
June
just
27th?
Yeah,
Okay,
June 27th, Raw results. Just type that in.
results. Okay. Monday Night Raw results.
I can't believe our chat room. No, there's
It
85
was
people here.
R-Truth defeated John Cena in a tables match.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Full circle.
R-Truth defeated John Cena. R-Truth defeated John Cena. So, yeah. So he's the one that put him through the table.
Yeah, and he was
That's
supposed to
kinda
wrestle him
crazy. I
tonight.
forgot about that.
And then
That
you
was a
got the reverse
5-minute
pipe
match.
bomb. There you go.
That was a 5-minute match.
Good.
The match before the match, bro. Some of these matches, like we were just talking about how bad it was, bro. Oh my god, dude. Kelly versus Nikki Bella in a submission match went 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Oh wow.
Alberto Del Rio versus Big Show in a cage match that went 5 minutes.
Ugh. You see how he used to be tortured?
Kane at the beginning of the show, Kane defeated CM Punk by countout. In a
Oh, that had to be satisfying.
oh my god, bro! And then it was Alex Riley and Rey Mysterio versus the Miz and Jack Swagger. What the fuck? Like that's the most random
That
ass.
shit.
Oh my god, bro! But yeah, no, that was yeah. So that was.
See
that,
why
that
we're so
was the,
angry? We were tortured.
yeah, but that's a good point. I didn't even remember that was that match.
Yeah, I
That's
could
a
have
good
sworn it
memory.
was truth, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a long time ago. Maybe it was truth, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
But because when I heard that he was supposed to fight Truth, and then this whole thing happened with Punk, I was like, well, did Truth put Punk to the table? Like, what happened? Because I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't have fucking SmackDown. But yeah, there you go. They reversed it.
Yeah.
He did the reverse
Yeah,
pipe
USA.
bomb and all that. So there you go. Long-term booking.
There you go. But
Triple H is a genius.
13
He
years
remembered
in the
that.
making.
What?
14 years in the making.
Yes.
yeah.
Twice
And
in a
well, then-
lifetime. Again.
What was it 2011 when him and Miz main evented with Rock? Like that same year?
Yeah, it was November 2011.
2011. Yeah, that damn, that was a big
I was
year for
at that
Truth.
one.
That was a big year for
That
Truth.
was when The Rock screamed WWF and the fucking idiot in front of me goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." It's like, shut up. God fucking damn it.
Oh my god.
Because breaking news, you fucking slob in the front row or whoever said that. His father did wrestle for the WWF. Just saying.
And his grandfather wrestled for
The
His-
WWF.
yeah.
Oh, no, 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 no. Why do you care that some fucking slob in a truck has to edit that later? Who gives a shit?
Oh my god.
You know, I don't know, man. The video game people and wrestling people, they're two in the same. Bunch of fucking idiots half the time.
Sound like internet people.
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. But
Nick, what's going on with fucking Call of Duty? You got Beavis and Butthead going in Call of Duty? They got guns now? What is going on?
yeah. Apparently, yes, there's guns. There's Beavis and Butthead with guns.
How
going on
come
in
Tom
Call of Duty.
Anderson is not a skin?
There's also there's also a it's funny, there's a it's not WWE related at all, but there's a luchador wrestler, a woman they put into the game, like a skin you can buy, and her I guess like finishing move is a Canadian destroyer. Like you can go up behind somebody and do a Canadian destroyer.
Dude, what is with Call of
them.
Duty? Like, they killed that whole game in 3 months.
It's
The minute they did the
there's a-
unicorn thing, it was over. Like the unicorn that shits the rainbow.
I almost bought
It's
that.
funny. It's funny. I listened to this whole entire conversation, and in my head, I was thinking Fortnite, and then I'm like, I heard you say Call of Duty so many times, and I'm like, oh no, they're actually talking about Call of Duty. That's
Yeah, Call of
I didn't
Duty
know
is
that
trying
they
to
had all
rip
their
off
shit in Call of
Fortnite
Duty.
by doing stupid shit, and it's killed the
Well,
game.
Well, Call of Duty has
WWE 2K put in freaking Shaq.
I love it.
Yes, please.
didn't they put in a few of the guys
Yeah, they put
Alright.
Tyrese Halliburton in. That was just in the NBA Finals.
Bro,
And he's gonna have
yeah,
a 50 Cent song in the game. So
also, not wrestling related at all, but I saw Tyrese Halliburton's injury last night. That shit fucking man.
I thought he was a rapper.
Oh, no, Tyrese Halliburton is a basketball player.
But why is he coming out to 50 Cent music in WWE 2K?
That's what he chose to come out to. I
And they
guess,
actually
but-
gave it to him. You got wrestlers that can't even use their goddamn themes that aren't even really copyrighted, and they don't want to pay
Yeah.
for it. And you got this
you
fucking
had, what's his
slob
name?
coming in.
Speaking of music, KSI wanted to come out to Christian's entrance theme at the Fan Fest thing the other day, and they wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, they had a list of the ones you could use, and yeah, he
Hey,
wanted to come out
Christian has some
to
great themes.
he wanted to come out to Close Your Eyes, and they were like,
Yeah.
no.
Why?
That was his favorite, one of his favorite themes.
He didn't
and
even
he's
want
not
the
an actual-
Christian.
Oh
Christian.
my god, that's funny.
Oh, I love that theme too. Christian has
That's
some
the
great themes.
stupidest one.
Also, they put Abyss in WWE 2K25.
Well, he's a backstage guy there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
I'm
even
curious,
care.
have
They
any of you
basically
guys
own
played-
TNA at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even
well,
matter
they
anymore.
they put him in with his TNA theme and everything.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, Sean and Nick, y'all played the Island feature in 2K?
No, I've not played.
He's got
okay.
PC, which means it's not on there.
And also, I haven't played a 2K
Okay.
games. Oh,
Me
man.
neither. I would like to play as Shaq. I want to choke slam somebody with Shaq, but that's about it.
Maybe like since like 2K like 14, 15, like it's been like almost 10 years that I played, because they were just going downhill like consistently, and
like
wrestling
when-
games were something I bought almost every year. Going back to
Yeah, I traded
Yeah.
all of my I traded in 2K5, I had 2K15. I don't even give a fuck anymore. I got rid of all that shit.
yeah, no, those games, like the commentary was terrible. There was glitches in the game when you would buy it, and it was just like it was just like I
Bro,
just
they
never,
fucking.
like,
I bought 2K15, okay, and it came with Hulk Hogan. I bought the Hulk Hogan edition for $100
that's the last one I bought.
on both machines, by the way. Do you know because of his fucking tirade, they removed the DLC
That
so
you
it-
paid for.
that I paid for, and they never put it back. Even after the whole thing like ended and all this stuff, it's like Jesus Christ! Like, come on, what kind of world do we live in? I paid for this shit. He
At
didn't
least
say
get a
this shit in the
refund if
game.
you're
He
not
said it in
the-
real life 10 years ago, and you're making me fucking. You should give me my money back.
Yeah, and if you're
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
agree.
get, if you're not gonna put him back in, just give the money back.
Give
Yeah,
the money
it
back.
makes-
What the fuck
yeah,
was
it
that
makes
all
no sense.
about? It's not
Makes
my
no
fucking
sense.
fault. He's stupid.
Yeah,
You
Hey.
fucking ripped me off. Give me the money back.
I mean, I know this isn't like some groundbreaking thing. Everybody hates this, but the like whole microtransaction culture in video games is fucking awful. It just like
Oh, yeah.
ruins fighting games, makes it like
So,
completely.
What was the first
Yeah,
game
like-
that did it though? What game really
you just
started
can't-
that though?
Was that you can't buy a fighting game now, like when it comes out.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
have to
Mortal
wait like a
Kombat.
year.
That game fucking suffered because of all that. They kept overcharging
Then
people.
you have to wait like a year or two for it to like fully all come out, and then you buy it for the regular price, and you get all the DLC.
And then they make an ultimate
like-
edition with one more pack, and it's like you're fucked.
Yeah, but and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like if you buy it to start with, then you're getting a shitty amount of characters, and then you got to buy each DLC pack.
Yep.
By the time you're done, you've spent like $200-$300 on one game because you're buying DLC. Maybe I'm over exaggerating.
No, I think Mortal Kombat came out to 400 after everything.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's insane. There's just no reason for anyone to want to buy it when it comes out. So instead, you're just gonna sit there and like that new Marvel game that got announced.
Marvel Rivals
The,
or no?
no,
or,
The Sony
there's a
one.
new the
Oh,
Marvel
okay.
versus Capcom kind of not
yeah.
versus Capcom one. They just like cut Capcom out or whatever. That game looks fucking awesome, and it's like
Yeah.
4-on-4 and shit. And I'm super excited because I've wanted a really good, Marvel versus Capcom successor forever. Well, like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna buy that when that comes out because it's gonna be shit. Because they're gonna fucking give you like 8 characters, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you want more? Give us $50 every fucking 6 months or whatever the hell it is." It's just
Yeah, I don't know if
It's just
I don't
not
know if it
worth
was
it.
the first game with microtransactions, but the first one I remember was funnily enough was Call of Duty. Call of Duty 4 had map packs. They put out like midway through the cycle. They did before they had a battle pass or anything. This is way back in 2007, 2008. They put out a map pack with like 5 new maps, and it was like I think it was like $10 or $12 or something like that. And you would have to download those to be able to play the new map, buy that and download to play the new maps. So if you were queued with friends that had the maps and you didn't, then you couldn't get the new maps. So essentially, it was just forcing you to so you could still play with your friends and play the new maps, like buy the map packs. But that's the earliest. But again, it was like an optional thing, and it was like
Remember
it was
Call of
what it
Duty
was.
Elite with Black Ops 2? The thing lasted like a week and then they shut it down.
That was where you could like buy the camos or some shit or the.
No, so you could buy the Elite. It was like a separate thing for $100, but it gave you all the season passes and shit.
Oh yeah.
And bro, they sold none of them. And the first 2 weeks they shut it down. They shut down the Call of Duty Elite Club or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing because they thought everyone was gonna run out and buy it. It's like no, they just want
But
the game.
now microtransactions are just part of it. Now there's battle passes and there's skins and there's this, that, and the third,
Yeah,
and
those
new
passes, man.
characters. Yeah, so it's
Like I get it. I get it if you're doing a microtransaction for a skin, like if they're like here, we give you all the characters, but like if you want your character to look like this, you have to pay money.
Right.
Like it sucks, but I get that. But
Yeah.
like paywalling characters is fucking insanity.
Yep.
Like the game should come with the characters, not I have to pay extra to get more characters added to the game. That's just like I don't know, it feels like robbery. It feels fucking totally insincere and shitty. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm getting robbed. And I'm just like, no, I'm not.
Well, this whole
Mortal
Well, this
Kombat
whole
1 was
generation is not robbery.
$79, and if you wanted just Sean Claude Van Damme as Johnny Cage, it was $120
Jesus.
for one guy.
And that's what I mean. When you do that, and then it's like the game comes out and it doesn't last as long as it should because it doesn't have the shelf life because people aren't going to buy it to start with.
Right.
And then you're trying to prolong it by adding characters to keep people into it, but that's what turned people off in the first place.
Yep.
So it's like these fighting games don't have the shelf life that they should have, and really they only exist in the online tournament realm. And outside of that, they don't get any sort of common use by regular fighting games used to be the shit. All my friends would play fighting games. You get with your friends. Everybody switch on and off. You fight against each other. It was always like a common thing, and I feel like it's kind of died because of the microtransaction. Because back in the day, it'd be like you have to beat the game to unlock the characters.
Right.
Okay, at least I have to do this. It's already there. I don't have to pay for it. I have to use my ability and play the game to get the things. That makes sense. But not giving me only giving me part of the game and then expecting me to pay to get the rest of it and string me along for it. It's like the shittiest thing to happen to video games.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That and ugly protagonists.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't that's like a whole thing I see on the internet now.
No,
people being upset about that.
Yeah, that's a whole other rant I won't go on. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the podcast. I think we pretty much covered everything. I want to thank Milfman and Sean for coming on as always. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And I think we had some good conversations about stuff going on in wrestling. Won't be on next week, but the week after it will just be me and Perry doing a show. So we'll be talking about Night of Champions. We'll be talking if there's more stuff coming out about Saturday Night's Main Event and the Goldberg stuff. We'll be covering it all. So be sure to look out for that. I'm Nick.
All right.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it.